Greetings and welcome to a night of Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Paddy and I am the Dungeon Master for this game. This game, for those of you who don't know about Dungeons and Dragons, it is a tabletop role-playing game based in fantasy settings, sci-fi settings. Basically, it can be pretty much whatever you want. The players make characters who then play through the campaign using dice rolls to determining key actions as asked by myself, the Dungeon Master. For this game, we have 6 players. Normally it would be more. Unfortunately, we do have a few missing members, some due to responsibilities during this pandemic, unfortunately, and one who would be with us, but unfortunately she can't make it. So unfortunately, Mantra, our pink tiefling sorcerer, will not be joining us. To give you guys a bit of a quick background as to what's been happening with this party, they all met in the town of Moontide, where they discovered a large number of people were falling sick to some sort of disease, but there was no discernible cause. They were hired by various parties within the town to try and investigate. During this investigation, they travelled into the Black Waste, a nearby swamp, where they fought kobolds, gibbering mouthers, and eventually managed to strike a deal with the leader of the kobolds, a lizard folk shaman, to take the body of a faceless agent, a sort of a humanoid wearing a plain white mask. On this person, they found a note saying about picking up a shipment of something called abyss dust in Moontide. Upon going back to Moontide and speaking to an apothecary there, they found that abyss dust in large enough quantities removes the soul from someone's body. After a few bits of investigation, they managed to uncover another faceless agent posing as the town's mayor, trying to keep people off the scent of this shipment, and managed to slay both himself, his associate, and a construct they had with them. They then decided to investigate the ship that came with the abyss dust to try and find it. Upon doing so, they started out all right, then ended up in a great big fight. That seems to happen a lot with this party. After that point, they managed to find the abyss dust, give it to the apothecary, who has then managed to synthesize a cure. The apothecary has then asked them to take his notes on this back to the Alchemist Guild in the capital city of Maham. The party travelled there, on the way meeting a young bronze dragon who decided to give them some financial backing. And recently they had just arrived in Maham and taken up lodgings at the Jigging Jester Inn. I will now allow each party member... Well, do the party members want to introduce themselves, or would you like me to introduce you for you?
I'm happy either way.
I think you should go for it since you have more of
Sud-
an idea of everybody.
Sudden silence.
Sudden silence. Okay, I will go for it. So, the first up in our party is Talia Darkthorn, a tiefling rogue, who was found out recently that she is not quite alive. In the recent past, she has remembered that she has actually died and then been returned to life. How this has happened, she's not entirely sure. Talia is being played by Annette. Next up, we have Yami, who is a human warlock, who has a small pseudo-dragon familiar. His powers seem to be coming to him from some otherworldly entity, the source of which he's not entirely sure. And that is being played by Connor. Mm-hmm. Next up is Valdizian, the bronze dragonborn paladin, who was originally kept as a slave in his younger years until he came down with a illness which caused his master to abandon him at the doors of a church of Pelor. There, the various priests and monks cared for him and helped raise him, and this drew him into the life of religion. However, rather than following Pelor, he went for Pelor's close ally of Triferion, the god of vengeance and justice. Valdisian has only recently revealed to the party that he is a Dragonborn, having previously worn full armor all the time to try and hide from the stigmatism against Dragonborns in the world. That is being played by Ben.
Evening.
Next up, we have Wawin, who is a... are you an elf or a half-elf?
You're going to make me introduce my own character, aren't you?
No, I just need to know if you're an elf or a half-elf. I can't remember that bit.
I am half-elf.
Half-elf. She is a half-elf sorcerer with a specialization in performance, normally seen as a traveling entertainer. She joined up with the party just sort of out of chance one day, and so far seems to just be rolling with them. And that is being played by Steph, who you just heard talking. Next, we have Eridan, who is an elven druid. The reasons why he is with the party are unclear. However, he is a good person who seeks to do good wherever he goes. Obviously, the disease troubled him greatly as it was also affecting nature. But other than that, he has no clear goals currently, and that is being played by Reese.
Cool.
And finally, we have Balasar, another Dragonborn paladin. However, this one a black Dragonborn paladin devoted to the evil dragon god Tiamat. However, she has not yet made this known to the party. However, unlike Valdisian, she does not hide her form from anyone else, and so far seems to be quite the strong and silent type. And that is being played by Maria.
Hi.
So, to pick up where we left off last time, you all find yourselves in the cozy, nice ambience of the Jigging Jester Inn. For some of you, you had already retired for the evening. Talia, you had gone with Ert, your NPC, who has joined your party. And you had gone but you spent most of the evening reading a book which was going to give you a cantrip, basically.
Yeah.
So, other than that, the rest of you are still in the main area. What would you all like to do?
Silence.
Rook is stood behind the bar, just sort of watching you all. The tall, muscled Kenku barman is just sort of stood there, head cocked on one side. He served you all a few drinks and taken your payments for your rooms, but otherwise you were all just sort of stood milling around in his bar room.
What sort of time of day is it again?
You had arrived in Maham in the early afternoon, so it is now just sort of coming into sort of probably about 5 o'clock. The tavern is starting to fill up with people coming in for their supper, people coming in to start the early start of drinking for the evening. You can see a range of people. You can see what is obviously shopkeepers, general labourers, even the odd, what looks to be lower noble or two gathering in some corners.
I will take full advantage of the situation and probably roll an awful performance check.
Go ahead and make me a performance check then, please.
Unfortunately, because of character sheet issues, I don't know what my thing is, but I'll go for a straight roll.
Okay. Okay. So you pull out your lute and you start to play a little ditty, and you start getting distracted by all the races that you can see. You see dwarves in one corner. You even see one or two gnomes scuttling around. You see a half-orc striding through, and you've not seen a lot of different races. This is a very metropolitan city, very multicultural. This is quite a lot for you to take in, and you're sort of you're going through the motions of the song, but there's no real feeling behind it, and no one's really taking any notice.
I really need to find that character sheet. I don't know what my charisma modification is. Bear with me. I will make
Top performance, so you must have at least a +4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it's going to be something, so we'll say 10.
Okay. Same thing.
Okay, I'll live with that.
Slightly more mediocre.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. Yeah. Okay.
Right, I'm going to do the thing that everybody is waiting on me doing. Can I go to room 5, please?
You can. For those of you watching, last time they had met the proprietor of the Jigging Jester, a blue tiefling called Gunter, who has actually turned out to potentially be an agent of the Church of Triferian, as he did give the correct passphrase to Valdizian, and invited Valdizian to join him in room 5. So, Valdizian, you go up the set of stairs to the first floor, and you soon find yourself before room 5. Quite evidently, this is obviously Gunter's room, as the door, though plain with a number 5 on it, above the door is what appears to be a pair of black shackles.
Oh god.
Giggity.
I kind of look at the shackles and just don't understand quite why they're there to start off with, and then hesitantly knock on the door.
As you knock on the door and you wait a couple of beats, and then you hear, "Come in."
So I'm gonna slowly open the door and kind of stick my head around the corner just to see what the room looks like and where Gunter is in the room and whether he's dressed.
Okay. Looking into the room, Gunter is dressed. He is still dressed in the clothes that you saw him in before, the flamboyant white silk shirt with the flowing sleeves, plain brown breeches, and a purple cravat. And he's currently sat in a chair at a desk, which he's turned around to face the door. You can see in the room that you're currently looking into, it looks like it's a 2-part room. There's this room, and then there is a door which leads obviously into what is probably a bedroom. In this room, you can see the desk and his chair, a fireplace and a rug, and a number of bookcases.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of slowly go into the room, and yeah, say good evening to Gunter.
Oh, Valdizian, hello. Come in. Close the door behind you. We don't want everyone to hear, do we?
Well, I'm gonna shut the door, but I'm gonna check that the door doesn't just automatically lock as well.
As you shut the door, you can see that there are a series of bolts on the inside, but none of them automatically shoot across, from what you can tell.
So I'm going to go over to Gunter, sit down next to where he is, and just go, it is very rare to find another follower of Tritherian.
At this point, Gunter he almost seems to relax. You can see now a lot of the air that he had about him before wasn't so much his normal personality. It's an act that he seems to put on. He goes, "Yes, it's quite interesting to meet another member of the church. Welcome. How can I help you, brother?"
As I've only just gotten into town, I basically want to know if there are any other brothers in town, and if there is anything that we need to be aware of from a church standpoint. So that
I see. Things other brothers in the town. There is only ein other brother in the town that I am aware of. Let me just think. I need to remember his name. The only other brother I can think of is Father Nicholas. He runs the almshouse in Grimhaven. He's not overly active. He's not an agent, so per se. He is a follower and a believer, but he doesn't deal in the same sort of aspects as I do. As for things to be aware of, obviously, the rumors of the Faceless. I've not got anything concrete there yet. The Cathedral of Pelor is being a bit concerning. Other
what
than
sense?
that, as you know, Pelor is aligned with Triferian. Normally, we would have quite a good working relationship with priests of Pelor. Unfortunately, they have recently taken on a new high priestess. She is not what I would call, what is the word?
Amicable?
Pious. She's not pious. Let's put it that way. It is. She is rarely seen even here in the Gateway District. She is commonly in Halcyon Heights, dealing with the nobles. And let's put it this way. She funds around in extravagant robes and jewelry, and always looks perfect, darling. So,
I know the
I'm
type.
not. Indeed, I don't know whether this is the beginnings of corruption, or whether this is just vanity. It could be a bit of both. I do know that the actual cathedral itself has started taking a lot more in the way of tithes, but that could just be the general extra people going through the door. I don't know.
Understood. Thank you for the information, brother. Can I rely on you to keep my religion to yourself? I know in certain larger towns the knowledge of having a Tritherian paladin can cause certain troubles.
If as long as you keep my secret, friend. You think they like having an agent here any more than they do a paladin?
No, that's completely understood. And thank you for your company.
Not a problem. If you need anything, let me know. Obviously, in public, I will keep up my normal persona. So do expect some mild flirting. I do admit you're rather easy on the eyes.
I don't know what that means.
Of course you don't. Just
And-
know that I'd welcome you as a bed warmer anytime.
and I kind of half blush, even though I've got scales, and kind of give a head nod and move to leave the room.
Goodbye. Don't worry. If you need any information, just ask Rook and he'll call me.
And I'm going to head down to where the rest are in the bar.
Okay. You head back down and you see that the rest of your group, other than Talia and Ert, have all sort of congregated around one table, enjoying the drinks that they had gotten from Rook, and are just generally sat enjoying the atmosphere. Is there anything else anyone else would like to accomplish?
Could I try something?
Yeah.
As I've leveled up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ert,
Yeah.
do you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Okay, hold still. I think I can summon a familiar. Would you like to see?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to sit down, do the circle or whatever it is that I need to do, and I'm going to cast Find Familiar.
Okay. Do you have 10 gold points worth of incense?
Oh, that's an oversight. I forgot. Hang on. I don't think I do. Okay.
Nope.
Change of plan.
So you
Once-
cannot currently cast that spell.
Want to check their inventory before deciding to do stuff. I'm going to go back downstairs with Ert, leave Ert with Valdician, and then try and acquire some incense.
Okay. As you go downstairs, and you sort of rather ungraciously dump Ert in Valdisian's lap. Are you going to head out of the Jigging Jester?
Maybe I'll stay for a drink first.
I mean, bear in mind it is now probably about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah,
The
I might.
tavern is
I might
quite
wait
full.
a bit. I'll
And
have
from-
a drink with the group. Maybe do it in
Okay.
the morning.
Balasar's not currently with us, is she?
Balasar is not. No, Balasar was not with you. It is at this point that the door does open, and a familiar black dragon-born figure is stood in the doorway. Balasar has now managed to, apparently on her own, traverse her way to Maham. And Maria, for your own information, you and Mantra travelled as a pair ahead of the rest of this group, and you took a slightly longer route to get to Maham in the end because you took the more travelled highway that branches off from the coastal road. As you reached the city, Mantra begged off, saying that she had some business to take care of, and suggested that you go and find them rooms. And as you have entered the inn that you have found, you see the rest of the party that you had previously split off from all sat at a table enjoying drinks.
Balasar, how nice of you to join us.
Oh, joy.
Hello guys. I think I'll go and get a drink and then we'll sit down and talk.
Okay, so you move up to the bar, and stood behind it is a large black feathered humanoid with a face very similar to a crow or a raven with a beak. And he sort of stood there with muscular arms, sort of looking at you, and he sort of tilts his head to the side and goes, "Drink?
Yes please, I'd like a beer.
Beer. Okay." And he sort of turns away and pulls a beer from a cask and plonks it down in a wooden tankard in front of you and goes, "1 silver."
Alright, here's 1 silver.
"Thank you." He takes the silver and puts it in a pouch at his belt, and then turns to another patron who's getting his attention.
Come on,
I'll
Balasar, come sit.
Yeah, I'll take the beer and come sit with the majority of the party.
Okay.
I'm gonna, as I return to the table, basically say that I don't feel comfortable carrying this amount of money on me that was provided by the bronze dragon. I feel like I am a pickpocket risk. So
I'm happy to take my share.
So I am going to willingly split some of the cash off, keeping a bit of a reserve just in case, you know, we've got to pay for rooms later on or somebody gets pickpocketed or something. So I'm going to hand everybody 5 platinum.
Okay.
Which leaves me 10 platinum in reserve in case anything goes wrong.
Okay. So everyone now has 5 platinum, which is equivalent to 50 gold pieces.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talia's gonna sit there and count her gold happily.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do during the evening in the tavern?
I think I'm going to have an early night. I'm very grumpy that I didn't gain anything.
Well, not from patrons.
No, but at least I do have this.
So, is everyone turning in for the night?
Perhaps that's best.
Just stay and drink another beer after I finish this one. Then turn up to
Should have
bed.
just stayed upstairs.
So, those of you who have rooms, go to your rooms and begin getting ready for bed and getting into bed. Balasar, you stay and you pay another silver for another beer. You get some queer looks from the other people in the tavern, but Faux Dragonborn aren't common. They're not rare either, so you don't get any hostility. And you eventually also go and find a room and go for your evening's rest. During this evening's rest, Valdizian, you find yourself in a dream. And in that dream, you are stood at the edge of a cliff. And all you can see in front of you is an expanse of golden cloud as the sun rises through it. It's breathtaking and beautiful. And as you stand there, you hear the cry of a hawk. And suddenly, a hawk larger than any other you have seen bursts from the cloud directly in front of you straight past your face. And you watch as it flies straight above you. And you feel a weight on your back. And suddenly you step forward, but you don't fall. Instead, you fly with the wings that now have sprouted from your shoulder blades.
Yeah.
So, the next morning, you all awake and begin getting ready for the day. Valdizian, as you awake, those wings are still there.
Oh God.
You have grown wings overnight.
So I will then try and put on the clothing and armor that I currently have, and I assume they will not fit.
No.
So I'm going to put clothes kind of on the bottom half of me.
I will say, make me a roll me a straight dexterity check to see how well you manage to basically adapt at least your tunic. Okay, you do a good job. You do a good job. You manage to cut holes in the back of like your shirt where you think your wings would be, and they actually it fits well. It's snug and it's well fitted. You know you won't be able to do anything with your actual armor. That is something that is beyond your capabilities, but you at least now you're fully clothed at least.
Okay, I'm going to try and avoid the rest until I can get a better situation in terms of clothing and armor. And actually, I'm going to go back and knock on room 5.
Okay, so first roll me a stealth check to see how well you manage to avoid the rest of the party as they are making their way down back to the general area.
Can I see if I see?
I mean, if anyone wants to actively look for him, they can. But I'm just generally basing this off of passive at the moment.
My
So
passive
7.
perception is 12.
So 12, yep. So most of you, as you're going down to breakfast, see Valdizian trying to sneak through the hallways back to room 5. However, he thinks he's being stealthy, but he's forgotten to factor in these great big new wings. And half the time when he's hiding behind like a door jamb or a wall, his wings are just sticking out and you can all see them. And they are quite impressive.
Talia is going to raise an eyebrow and follow him.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue trying to get to room 5. I'm going to knock on the door.
Okay.
Can I
So
sneak
you
up
knock on the
behind
door.
him?
You roll me a
Right, can I
stealth
sneak?
check.
I'm moving slowly, so...
So add
with
plus
my
5 because of your
armor.
chameleon
Yeah.
armor, so that's a 16. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's higher than Valdizian's passive perception. So yeah, you managed to stealthily move up right behind him. You are now looking directly at these wings.
I'm going to touch them and go, oh, what are these?
I'm going to instantly flinch because nobody's touched them before and it's a new part of my body. And then spin round and go, what are you doing here?
As you spin, you've forgotten to, again, factor in two things, these wings, and they slam into the door of room 5. And it's just a bang, and you just hear someone go, what was that?
Easy, Tiger. I just
At
wanted
that
to see
point-
what you're doing.
At that point, the door to room 5 opens, and a very disheveled Gunter is stood there wearing basically just sleeping bottoms. And they're
hello,
silk,
Gunther.
they're purple silk and short. And he's sort of rubbing one of his eyes, and he goes, "Ah, hello. Oh my!"
Hello.
And he reaches out and touches the wings as well.
And I kind of shudder at
Double.
the time.
What's going wrong?
Oh, these are magnificent. When did you get these?
I don't know what's going on, but I need your help.
Very well. Both of you, come in, come in. He sort of takes a step back and sort of waves you in, and as you move past Valdez, he brings his tail round and runs the very tip down one of your wings.
Ugh. And I shudder again.
He closes the door behind you and turns and goes, "So, I'm guessing it's about your new appendages, yeah?"
I'm just leaning against the door with biggest shit-eating grin of amusement on my face.
Yes, it's about these things that have grown out of my back. I need somebody that can craft armor or clothing that can help kind of hide them, because I feel that people will stare at me a lot and pay more attention to me than they should.
That's probably true. Let me
I could probably
think.
help.
I would say for armor, you want to go to Asgam Arms and Armor. She's here in the Gateway District, just over. I believe she's just over behind the Bloodied Basin. So, she sells a lot to them. As for clothing, I mean, there's general clothing stores all over, darling. But if you want something specific made quickly, you might be best trying out the Patchwork Bazaar. They have quite a few clothiers there. Other than that...
Is there anybody that would do home visits?
No,
No.
I'm sorry. The only other thing I can think of is it might be worth you checking out. What was her name again? She moved here a while ago. Vilma, that was it. She runs some little rinky-dinky magic shop. She might have something at a cut price. I don't think you really want to be going near the Arcane Academy like that. They might want to cut you open and see how it works.
Understood. Thank you for your help. And
Not a problem.
I cannot wait to see how the rest of the group are going to react to this.
I just glare at Talia and proceed to walk out the door down towards the bar area.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going back to bed. I need my beauty sleep. Darling Talia, you look lovely in the mornings. Unfortunately, I need a bit of time.
Oh, maybe next time.
Indeed. Have a good breakfast. And he sort of shuffles off back through. As he opens the door into his room, Talia, you do catch a glimpse through, and you do see a large queen-size bed with purple silk sheets.
Ooh, nice.
Before the door closes again.
I do love Gunther.
He has a lot of useful contacts.
I'm sure he does. Let's go to the rest of the group.
So the rest of you have gone down into the main area. Rook is not there. He's obviously mainly the evening barman. And there is just there's just the normal sort of serving staff moving around, young women and men who have obviously been hired just to sort of take care of the day-to-day things like cleaning, serving food, that sort of thing. They're moving around, and you could easily flag one of them down to get some drinks or some food if you wished. You have all sat at the same table you claimed the evening before, and as you watch the stairs, you all see Valdizian walking down the stairs, this majestic pair of wings folded against his back, with Talia skipping along behind him, grinning like a loon.
Hey everyone, look at the Valdizian!
Wow.
You look bigger. And then she gets back to tuning a loop.
I forgot to ask, what colour are the wings?
The wings themselves, so think like classic dragon wings. They have a long, sort of bony part at the top, which is the same color as your scales, bronze, but then the actual sort of membrane in the middle is a very light gold.
Aren't they just the prettiest? So, other than Valdizian's wings, we probably need to help him find some clothes that fit? What does everyone else want to do today?
I'm happy to tag along and see if we can find ways to make Valdizian not so obvious. She's kind of now looking him up and down, just like, that's going to be a problem.
I'll look over at him and sneaker probably. Then I'll tag along as well.
As entertaining as it would be to come with you, I think I will stick and look for some kind of library or something in the district.
Ert at this point pipes up and goes, Ert need weapons and armor.
You have 3 daggers, Ert.
Ert needs something more. Trifarians say Ert needs something more.
That's alright, Ert. When we find clothing for me and armor for me, we'll get something for you as well.
Okay.
Shall we then?
Alright.
Okay, so I'm assuming the majority of the party are all sticking together in this quest. And Yami is wanting to go off by himself to find a library. Is that what I'm getting here? Or is there anything else anyone else wants to do, or anyone else joining a different group?
I want to make sure that Val's alright, and then I'm gonna wander off.
Okay. So everyone's happy with that situation?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll start with the main group. So heading back out of the Jigging Jester, you find yourself back on the main crossroads of the Gateway District. Looking back across the road and to the north, you can see the road you walked down yesterday. And directly across from where you are standing, you can see the imposing black obsidian tower of the Raven's Roost. Straight across the road to your left, you can see the large, round, squat building with the sign above the door proclaiming it the Bloodied Basin.
Talia's gonna eye the Raven's Tower thing with
The Raven's
curiosity. Yeah, he's gonna eye it with curiosity, but make a mental note of it and then carry on.
Okay.
And I'm going to make my way towards the Patchwork Bazaar first as my kind of route.
So you don't know where the Patchwork Bazaar is. You've been told the name, but you have not actually been told where this Patchwork Bazaar is.
Perhaps we should ask for directions, Val?
That might be an idea, but I have giant wings. I can't really just go up to somebody random and go...
I'm just going to point at a random person and go, "You there? Excuse me a moment."
The person you've pointed at is... it's actually a rather oily-looking gentleman, a human, portly of belly, with very dark brown skin. In his mid-40s, he's got greased black back hair. And he had got a couple... As he turns and smiles at you, you see a number of gold teeth, and his fingers are... my name is Ivan Strombol. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. You wouldn't happen to know where the Patchwork Bazaar is, would you?
Oh, of course, my dear lady. You want to go back down into the Sapphire Docks. You want to go past the Bloodied Basin and all the way down that road until you reach the gate. It's the next district along, and you can't miss it once you reach it. Just look for all the coloured tents. As a matter of fact, as you go that way, you'll be passing my place of work.
Thank you for the directions. That'll be all. Bye now.
No, dear lady,
I've already walked
wait.
away. I'm gone.
Okay. As he sort of watches you leave, you can see him sort of eyeing you all up and fiddling with some of his rings, and he goes,
Val, let's hurry up, please. He's creeping me out.
And
Meanwhile, Rowan's kind of nearby, just like glaring at him. It's like, don't you look like you're suspicious and up to something?
do you actually say that, or are you just giving him that look?
Just giving him that look.
He sort of sees you look and goes, Do you want to know about the Grand Arena?
No, not
No?
really.
It's the best show in town.
What's
No?
so great about it?
It's the arena. Blood sports, war, death, chariot racing, monsters to be fought, gladiatorial combat. Wonderful things, and all with gambling.
Yeah, Rowan's just kind of looking at him going, yeah, I'll think about it. And follows Valdizian and Talia.
He sort of watches you all go and he goes, and just sort of walks off. He walks across a different way from you towards a large Colosseum-looking building, which you guess is probably the Grand Arena he was talking about.
Okay.
So, as the rest of you move down this long stretch of road leading to the west, you go past the edge of, actually past, like, sort of the western edge of this Grand Arena. And as you're moving, you draw level. It's further into the district to your north. You can see the Raven's Roost further in, still towering above everything. But as you move further down that road, you also see another large building. This one done all in golds, yellows, dark reds and somber oranges, all done in such a way to make it look as if the sun is constantly shining on this large cathedral.
I suppose it's pretty.
Eventually you come to a set of gates. There are a pair of guards on it, but they're obviously they're not there to stop people. They're just there as part of a guard duty. They sort of give you a sort of weird look, Valdizian, and a little bit of another weird look to Balasar. But other than that, they sort of just wave you on through. And you have now all entered.
I just kind of, as we pass them, whisper and go, "It's for a theatre performance."
And they just sort of go, "Oh, you're with that new Dawn Dramatics, are you? Yeah. Didn't think that had opened yet."
Just keep walking.
So as you all pass through the gate, you have now entered the Sapphire Docks, the main trade port of the city. The road you're on slopes down the hill that Maham is built upon, down towards the water's edge. And looking out, the sun is just starting to rise above the eastern horizon, and it is playing off the water that you can see. And it is a beautiful, deep sapphire, this water. It is beautiful to look at. You can see galleons docked in the docks and others further out into the bay, obviously heading towards these docks. You can hear the shouts of sailors and laborers pulling off rare spices, bolts of cloth, anything that could be possibly traded is being brought in and out of this docks unless it's going to the Zeppelin fields nearby.
As I see the ships, I just look at my kind of party and go, "Don't get any ideas about burning more ships."
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, Rowan's just like looking around guiltily. He's like, I don't no idea what he's talking about.
So, taking in your surroundings, you can see directly to your left as you've come through, there is a large ornate building. Emblazoned above the door is a symbol of a sack of coins. But other than that, you can't really see anything special about this building. Further down the road you're currently on, and to the right, you see a ship, but not in the sea. It's in a land dock, and it appears to have, for those of you who are more perceptive, you can just make out what looks to be tables and chairs on the deck. This is obviously something quite unique. But the main thing that draws all your eye as you walk down this street, as you get past this large building with the coin bag above the door, just behind that and coming into view, surrounding on another road leading from the gates to the central part of the city that you've heard is called Halcyon Heights, is a sea of tents, of stalls of all kinds, all with different cloth coverings in vibrant colors, blues, purples, yellows, reds, greens, all the colors that you could possibly imagine, and they're all mixing and intermingling. The roofs of these stalls have gotten so close together that you can see they've actually just sewn them together, and this is just one giant patchwork of cloth. You guess that this is probably the Patchwork Bazaar.
I think we might be able to find something for you here, Val.
I do hope so. And I begin to look for like kind of purples and blues that might match kind of what I would normally expect a Tritherian paladin to look for.
Okay, so you move through some alleyways to get cut from your road through some sort of residential district, and then you come into the northern end of the bazaar, and this place it's early in the morning, but even then this place is buzzing. There are people everywhere. You get the sense that this is the sort of place where you would have to get up at sort of 4 in the morning to even catch this like quiet. This place looks and feels like it is exactly what it is, a center of commerce. Looking around, as you glance, you can see spice traders, you can see meat traders, fish traders. Obviously not the sort of ones who have got like set up actual building stores. These are all very much traveling traders or people who have just got something that they want to try and sell to start making some income. You can see people selling statues. There are other stalls with bolts of cloth. Basically looking around, you feel like you could find almost anything you wanted to here.
Well, what do you want first, clothes or armor?
Armor is in a different location, so I'm going with clothes.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Let's go and look then.
So, I will need you to roll me an investigation check, please. Okay. Okay, so from those 2 rolls, it doesn't take you long. You eventually find, after about 10 minutes of searching, and most of the time you're actually playing basically nanny to the rest of your group as they keep getting distracted by things they see. Rowan, you see multiple stalls selling musical instruments or
I see so many
parts.
things that I can play.
Yeah,
I
you
can see
see.
flutes. I can see everything.
You can see. The thing is, one stall you see what looks to be masterpieces of instruments, things that have been obviously brought in from other places to try and be sold here. And then at a stall next to it, you can see an old man sat there just whittling wooden flutes. You can tell that probably you'd be able to find anything of any quality here for your coin purse.
Any trinkets for horns?
Any what? Oh, trinkets for horns. Yes, there's multiple jewelers, multiple little craft stalls. They're all over the place. Eridan, you see herbs, medicines, spices, rare plants that you've never seen before being all displayed, ready to be sold. It's amazing. Balasar, you catch the sense of cooking meats, roasting fish, all of it making you realize you didn't actually ever stop for breakfast. All the while, Valdizian is trying to keep you all together as a group.
I'm also going to say, remember, the 5 platinum is for the entire quest, not just today.
But Valdizian, look at that loot.
The entire quest.
Seeing you looking, the person manning the stall is a dwarf and goes, "Aye, lassie, you've got a good eye there. I could strike you a deal."
No, Valdizian's right. Don't be tricked. Don't be tricked. So Rowan's kind of like shut her eyes now and going, turns around to Valdizian and go, quick, take me to wherever we're going.
So Valdizian, it takes you about 10 minutes, but you do eventually find a deep blue stall, which is actually fully enclosed. And inside you can see what appears to be a number of dressmakers' dummies, along with bolts of cloth hung on the wall.
Shall we
Hello.
ask them if they do made to measure?
Well, I was seeing if anybody's around first.
As you enter, you turn and you do see there is a very diminutive old human woman, hair done up, white hair done up in a bun with a pair of knitting needles through it to hold it up, and she's currently sat there sewing, but she's sewing quickly. Like, you can tell this is something she's done a lot. She's very practiced, and what would probably have taken an amateur seamstress a day to do, she's managing to do in about 10 minutes, and she's just doing it. And you can see calluses on her fingers where she's obviously pricked all of her fingers with this needle multiple times through her life. And she sort of looks up, realizing she's got customers, and goes, "Hello? How can I help you?
Good morning. I am in need.
Is it morning? Ah, I forgot to feed the cats."
Okay.
Wait, you've got cats?
Not here.
I love cats.
They're not here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Valdizian. You go ahead. You're here.
It's okay. Yes, it is morning. I am in need of some custom clothing, and you.
Hold on. I'm no good without my glasses. Now, where did I leave them? And she sort of fumbling around near her, looking for her
They're not
glasses.
in your head, are they?
Actually, you can see there is this large pair of very large spectacles perched on her forehead. And she's sort of fumbling around all around her, trying to find them. And then she hears you go say that as you reach them, goes, "Ah!" She pulls them down, and suddenly they magnify her eyes hugely. It's like you are now looking at a little old bug. And she goes, "Ah! I can see why you need clothes. Those are interesting."
As surprising as it may hear, these are a new addition, and
I see all sorts of things, dearie. She sort of gets up and starts shuffling across towards you, pulling out a tape measure from one of her apron pockets, and she goes, "You'd be surprised at the sort of things I've made clothes for. It's not every day that I get one with wings, though."
if
Now,
possible,
hold still. Hold still.
yes,
Let's see
ma'am.
what we can do here. And she starts taking your measurements, including around like the bases of the wings, and pulls out a small like piece of pencil lead and a very crumpled piece of paper, and starts jotting down measurements. And she eventually goes, "All right. Now, are you wanting custom made, or are you wanting me to adapt some things for you?"
I would prefer custom made, and if possible, some kind of cloak or cape that will cover as much of the wings as possible.
I can do your clothes. I don't think I can make a cloak that's going to do that for you, dearie.
Understood.
They are quite big.
I'll see what I can do to downplay them, though. And she sort of shuffles off and starts coming up back with bolts of cloth, which she just starts holding up against you. And some of them just sort of stand and go, and just then chuck over her shoulder. Other
What
ones
about something that makes the clothes?
Shush.
Oh,
Shush. Let me work. And she keeps shuffling around, bringing bits of cloth here and there, and eventually she seems to have made a decision, and she's got a gold-coloured cloth with some blue silk, and she goes, "Yes, that'll do. Now, this will take about 2 hours. Is that all right?
That will be more than adequate.
And it'll be 5 gold, half in advance."
I feel like I can trust you, so I will pay the full 5 gold up front.
Oh, thank you very much, dearie. Right, come back in 2 hours, and I'll have a couple of sets ready for you. All right?
Thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem, dearie. And she sort of goes back to her little stool, lifts her glasses back up, and gets the cloth, pulls out a great big pair of metal shears, and you watch, and it looks like her hands are shaking, and it looks like she's holding the cloth, and it looks like she's about to cut her thumb off, and then you watch her suddenly. She's already cut out the shape of a shirt whilst you were watching. She's that practiced at doing this.
She kind of scares me.
Rawin's kind of grinning, going, "She's a really interesting lady."
You get the feeling that like you guys are adventurers, and in combat you guys are very impressive. And this lady is basically, she's been doing this her whole life. Whereas you guys are brilliant in combat because you've been doing that your whole life. This is her combat. This is what she's done pretty much from the day she could probably hold a needle.
I'm only slightly disappointed she suggested no capes.
No capes!
No capes!
I was going to suggest that she make something that made the wings look like they were part of the armor outfit.
By the way, you guys are all still stood there. He goes, I can hear you!
You're awesome. Keep up the good work.
Talia's
Yeah, I
going
know
to
it.
her tongue and then walk off.
Talia, what is it you needed for your circle thing you tried to do yesterday?
You wouldn't have
you
actually
didn't
seen that
know
circle
about that.
thing, so...
Yeah,
I thought
don't
I was
know
there.
about that.
No, it was
No,
just
I
her
didn't
and
know.
Ert.
Okay, never mind.
What? What? Don't know what you're talking about.
But
Do you think there's an incense shop around here?
There seems to be everything around here. If you can't find an incense shop, you're not looking properly.
Come, help me look.
Okay.
Based on your previous investigation check, it doesn't take you very long to find a shop. It's not so much an incense shop as it appears to be a shop that sells components for spells. It's a large open stall with a number of displays on the front, and behind it there is what looks to be a large desk that has obviously been dragged here with lots of little drawers. And stood in front of it is a half-elven gentleman, middle age, with more of an oriental features. And he sort of turns around and goes, "Ah, welcome. What can I get for you?"
Oh, well, you see, I'm experimenting with a spell.
Oh, what spell?
Find Familiar, have you heard of that before?
Yes, I get quite a few of the Arcane Academy students coming to buy the necessary components when they do it. It's sort of a little bit of a rite of passage for them.
Yes, do
I
you have it?
believe you need incense, some herbs, and a brass brazier. I think I have all of those. And you sort of
And charcoal?
yes, that's as well. Although you can get that from pretty much any fire wherever you're staying. But one moment. He sort of scuttles around, long dexterous fingers pulling out drawers, and he plucks out various bits and pieces, putting them in a little sort of paper tied satchel bag at the top. And he pops that down and goes, that's the herbs and incense. He then gets a little sort of tin pot, puts some charcoal in it and pops that down, and then reaches down and picks up, it's not a huge brazier, it's large enough to fit in your hand, but he pops it down, and it's made of brass, and it'll do for the services of the ritual. And he goes, I had these made especially for that. Don't want people having to lug around some great big thing, do we?
Most helpful.
In total, that will be 10 gold.
Wonderful. Here you go.
He takes it. Thank you very much. And please, keep me in mind for any of your component needs.
No problem. How much time has passed, do you think?
So by
I shall
about this
split from the
time...
group. I shall split from the group and follow the scent of food to get myself some breakfast.
Okay. So, Balasar, you follow the scent of food and you enter into a separate section of the market, and every stall here is food-based. You can see one stall that appears to be turning a whole boar on a spit. There is another one where it's got a large grill set out and he's just turning fish that has obviously been freshly caught that morning. There's another one that appears to be making some form of sweet. Another one that appears to be a baker's stall where you can smell baking bread and various pastries being made. You can see spices on sale in another part of the area, but all the smells just fill your nostrils and your stomach growls, having not been fed this morning.
I'll just go to each stall, most of them, where they have meat, and just get a few pieces of each.
Okay. Moving around and getting a couple of pieces from each stall. It's not expensive, I'd say. If you just go around sort of the main central courtyard, just buying from the ones who are actually cooking, I'd say it'd probably end up costing you 1 gold piece in total for basically a small taster of everything.
Yeah.
Okay. But at this point, you are now in the bazaar on your own. You don't know where the rest of your party is.
Then I'll just keep looking around, maybe find a pump for some drinks.
Okay. So eventually you do, wandering around and sort of eating your food, you do bump back into the rest of the party as they just move away from the component shop, and you sort of stood there now with a guilty look on your face with what appears to be a roasted fish on a stick partially in your mouth.
Rowan sort of turns around, just kind of casually looking around, and realises Balasar's kind of stood there with this fish. It's just like...
Balasar stood there with one arm cradling multiple bags of food and one hand just holding this fish.
Yeah, she's done a bit of a double take, and she's like, wow, you hungry?
Hey guys, I was just looking for you and I got lost.
So you bought food everywhere?
I mean, good to help the economy.
Well, I mean, I don't need, but...
Good
Did
thinking.
you buy enough for everyone?
I mean, if you guys want some, I can share. I mean, only if you want to.
Nah, you've spent your money on it, you can keep it if you like.
I'm not hungry.
I just kind of force a smile because I'm not used to it and just give her a look of yes please, but like with this really cheesy fake grin across my face.
Okay.
Then I'll just share my stuff with with him. And let
I
him
just
pick
kind of
himself
pat
up
Valdisian
later.
on the back and be like, you know, you'll get used to it eventually.
Kind
Okay,
of.
so is there anything else anyone wants to accomplish in the Patchwork Bazaar?
Nope.
Okay.
I
So at
kind of want to try and find somewhere that will do some new clothes for Ert, but in a slightly different colour, maybe more whites.
Okay. You could probably you could go back to the same old lady, and she quickly takes Ert's measurements as well. And again, she does pick out some whites and golds for Ert and says, add another hour and I'll have these ready too.
Thank you very much.
She charges you another, for Ert, because she's relatively smaller, it's only 2 gold for all the outfits.
Okie doke. And I'm going to pay it up front.
Thank you again. So at this point, I'm going to move away from you guys, and we're going to go to Yami. So,
Cool.
Yami, you have just left the Jigging Jester and parted from the rest of the party as they walk off down one of the other roads.
Mhm.
What would you like to do?
I would like to look around for anything that looks remotely magic, or well, anything with like a library, I suppose. Either one.
Okay. So, looking from where you're standing, as you turn slightly to your right, you can see looming over the few shops straight across from the Jigging Jester, a large building with multiple arcane crystals studded throughout the walls. And this building reminds you of, not that Yami would notice, but you, of an MC Escher painting. There are walkways and balconies that are defying gravity and physics. You see a tower in one place and then blink and it's moved. It's all, you can feel that this is extremely magical, this building.
I'm going to head to that building.
Okay, so you move away from the Digging Jester and back up the main thoroughfare you had come down the day before. And eventually you come to what appears to be one of a number of entrances to this building. A large, forbidding oak door stands in front of you. You don't see any particular way to open it, but the door is there.
I will knock on the door very lightly and wait.
Eventually, as the door doesn't open, but you watch as in the wood, a face forms and sort of pushes out of the wood, and it just sort of like you can't see any eyes open or anything, but you know you're now at least being looked at, and you hear a voice go, "Yes."
I'm looking to gain entrance into this building. May I enter?
Why?
I seek knowledge and magical antiquity.
I see. Unfortunately, the Arcane Academy is for students and members only.
I see.
Are you a member?
I'm not. I'm new here.
Without sponsorship, you may not enter.
Could you tell me where I get sponsored?
You would have to find one of the existing members and ask them to sponsor you.
Do you know where any are or have gone?
The wooden face seems to take a deep breath, as if you can tell that this is basically some sort of messaging spell, and there is a person on the other end, basically acting as a doorman. Unfortunately, all the members are currently busy. I cannot allow you to speak to any of them, as it is currently class time. The only member who would be available would be Lord Vale. Unfortunately, he is the Sovereign Mage, and is likely up at the palace.
Then, it seems I have to go to the palace. That's where I will go.
If you wanted just research, I'd suggest Ogma's study, rather than trying to make your way into Halcyon Heights.
Thank you for your advice.
You're welcome. Have a nice day. And the sort of wood moves back just to being a door.
Weird door.
I was kind of half expecting your call is important to us. Please hold.
We're experiencing a high volume of traffic.
Yeah.
Have you tried our web chat?
Yes.
Or the FAQ page.
So, Yami, what are you wanting to do? You've been refused entrance into this building currently, unfortunately.
That's fine. I would like to look around for this shop. I think it was Orgma's shop.
Ogma's study was what you were
Ogma's
told.
study.
Roll me a quick religion check.
How do I do that on here?
Just type /roll20. That'll roll a d20 for you, and then just add your religion modifier from your sheet.
Oh.
Not rolling 20.
I think you
So
want
it's
If you've
forward
got-
slash
If
roll
you
d20.
20.
if you've got beyond what is it? Beyond
Is that?
whatever.
Beyond
I
20.
don't think he has that easy in his sheet.
Oh, okay.
There's a
You
there's a
cannot-
dice icon on the left hand side.
There you go.
There you go.
Control thing that
That
can
wasn't
do
far
So-
off.
So, and even without your
21.
religion modifier, that's high enough. You do know that Ogma is a god.
Oh.
So what you have been told about is likely to be a temple.
Okay.
Ogma himself is a god of knowledge. So it is like, and most of his temples double as libraries.
I see. So I look for a temple.
Okay. So you turn around from the Arcane Academy and you can see to your west in that district, you can see straight across from you instantly, you can see what appears to be a large courthouse with what appears to be the symbol of Arathis above it. Situated a short way behind that, you can see looming above everything a large obsidian tower, which you have already heard referred to as the Raven's Roost. A little way to the left of that and further back, you can see a large cathedral done in golds, yellows, bronzes, and other sunlight colors. So you're guessing that area is probably where most of the temples are.
I'm going to head over to that area then.
Okay. So you head over to that area, and as you're moving through, you can see multiple people in religious robes with symbols upon their chests. You can see various shrines here and there to minor deities. You can see people who are obviously pilgrims sleeping in small bivouacs, basically, waiting to be allowed entrance into various temples. As you walk through, you eventually, as you draw level with the forbidding presence of the Raven's Roost, you do see just around it and to the right a building that is designed very much like think ancient Athens Parthenon. And you can see above the door there is a symbol of a blank scroll, which with your religion check you would know would be the symbol of Ogma.
Brilliant. This is the place. At least the best guess. I'm fully able to go inside the place, correct?
As you walk up, the doors are open, and as you step inside, you were immediately hit by just a hush. All the sounds from outside seem to just fade away. And you can tell that there is some kind of divine enchantment on this place to keep out noise from the outside. And as you look in, there are just books. There are bookcases stretching almost as far as you can see. You're stood on like a raised entryway with sweeping stairs leading down both sides into this massive library. You can see that there are further in, there are a number of walls around the sides of this place with doors, which obviously lead to other places. But even here, you can see that probably almost 500 square feet is just floor library. And then above you, you can see 1, 2, 3 balconies, all of which are also lined with bookcases.
Crikey, what a place.
You see down in this central area, just literally in front of this entryway, there is a large sort of circular desk with in the middle of it a tall pillar with lots of drawers. And sat around this desk and moving around it and sort of pulling these drawers open and checking cards and that sort of thing are a number of acolytes in robes.
I see. I will go up and ask one of the acolytes about the...
Okay, the acolyte turns to you, and it is a young elven woman. Her hair done in a short blonde ponytail. And she turns and goes, "Welcome. How can I help you today?"
I'm just looking for books on magic and pseudo-dragons.
I see pseudo-dragons are in the public section. You want to head 5 stacks that way, and then 2 stacks along to the left in the familiars section. Depending on the type of magic you're looking for, the publicly accessible magic is in that same sort of general section. If you're wanting something a bit more restricted, you'll have to rent one of our research rooms and be watched by one of our senior lawkeepers.
I see. As a side question, is it okay to have my pseudo-dragon here with me?
At this point, Jormungandr sort of pops his head up from round your shoulder and goes, and the girl goes, "Oh, How lovely. Yes, of course, it's fine. Many wizards bring their familiars here. We obviously ask that you keep an eye on them and don't allow them to deface any of the books, but other than that, they're more than welcome.
Thank you very much for your help. I will definitely be back, I'm sure.
Not a problem. Please enjoy your day.
And at this point, I'd like to ask Jormungandr about going to the section for pseudo dragons if he wants to pick a book, see if any book particularly comes out to him.
As you move across there and you're sending this through your link to Jormungandr, he sort of looks at the bookcase in reading all the titles, and eventually he sort of sends you an image of one particular book. However, it's not in the pseudo-dragons section. It's in a section that you'd actually walked past already. And as you backtrack to it, you see that this is a section on gods and godlike beings. And the book he had sent you an image of is entitled Beings of the Astral Planes.
I see, so this is what you think. I'd like to take the book and take it back to the elven acolyte.
Okay, you return to her and she goes, did you find what you were looking for?
Well, my pseudo-dragon did, yeah. Although, I'd like you to tell me about this book before I go into it.
Let me have a look. And she sort of takes it and looks at it and goes, yes, Beings of the Astral Planes. This covers how much do you know about the various planes?
I don't know very much, I must say.
So we live on what is known as the material plane. Surrounding the material plane, you have the elemental planes. Just outside of them, you have the Feywild and the Shadowfell. And then obviously you start moving out further from them into both the Divine, the Hells, and the Abyss. But there is also, in and around and amongst them, the Astral Plane. Very much a void of emptiness. And it's said that if one could traverse it, one could reach many different worlds, many different material planes, and through it you could travel from one plane to another. This details beings who make that place their home, from things like the GIF to the rumors on the possible origins of Illithid, and various other astral beings like astral dreadnoughts, Morkoths, and even some of the rare gods who have and godlike beings who have made their homes there.
I see. Would this happen to say anything about some type of snake-like god? I believe that was what my dream god was.
You remember Scales from your dream?
Scales.
Okay. Unfortunately, I've not read it, and it's not quite my area of expertise. If it's in there, I'm pretty sure it'd be easy to find.
Thank you for your insight on this.
Not a problem. We're here to help.
Do you have any more private rooms that I can go and read in?
We have 3 different levels of research room. We have the public research rooms, which are more like a cloister. Just a little closet for you to go and read in privately. They are free for anyone to use. They have a little symbol that you can slide across to let people know that you're in there. We have the group research rooms. We do charge for the use of those. And then obviously we have the restricted research rooms, which I mentioned before, where you have to be there with a senior lawkeeper.
I see. Could I go into the restricted room?
Yes, it's a silver per hour for use of the restricted room, and I would have to summon a senior lawkeeper for you.
Would I be able to request your services as well for this?
Unfortunately, I'm a junior lawkeeper. I cannot do that responsibility myself.
I see. Thank you for that. I'll
Not a problem.
hand over anything I need for that. I will
Okay, so it's a silver for the room, and
Yep.
she sort of waves at a nearby man. Whereas these lower lawkeepers had been wearing sort of dark blue robes. This one has gold trim on his robes, and he walks over, and he's a bold male with a scruffy sort of red beard. And he sort of walks over and goes, I am Senior Lordkeeper Vorf. I hear you would like to use one of our restricted rooms for some research?
I would, if that would be okay.
Very well, you have already paid the fare, so please follow me. And he leads you over to a door. He sort of pulls out a key, places it in the lock, and as he turns it, you hear him mutter something under his breath. And there is a slight purplish flash. You can tell that there is probably more security on these rooms than just a key. He sort of unlocks it, opens the door, and allows you to enter first. And as you enter, you see a large teak table, perfectly polished, with a number of comfy armchairs around it, crackling fire to keep the room warm, and in one corner a set of what looks to be enchanted sort of carafes with various drinks in for those who are using this room to stay hydrated. He sort of comes in, closes the door behind you, and he sort of leans in one corner as unobtrusively as possible. It's obviously his job here is to watch you. He doesn't want to disturb you, but he is there to watch.
Was there any other books in this room in particular?
In this restricted room, there are only the books that you bring in with you.
I see.
You get the feeling that if you had requested a book at the desk that was considered restricted, you would have been asked to pay for this room, escorted here, told to wait, and then they would have fetched the book and brought it to you, as it wouldn't have been kept on the public shelves.
I see. I'd like to go into reading the book then, with
Okay.
Norman looking over.
Okay, so this I won't make you make a check for this, because this is just basically you're just reading a book. Flicking through, you can see that this book covers the various different races who, as she said, live in the astral plane. It covers Illithids and they're traveling in Nautilus ships. It covers the Githyanki and their use of astral skiffs and the way that they raid. It covers the massive astral dreadnoughts that just float through this plane, devouring anything they come across. Eventually, you get to the point on godly beings, and flicking through it, there's not much that interests you until Jormungandr lashes out with a claw and just sort of stops you on a page. And as you look down, you see it's a drawn image of a black and blue serpent wrapped around a planet. And underneath it is written Dendar, the Night Serpent.
Dendar. Would my religion know anything about this question?
So, based on your previous religion check, you would. Dendar is almost a primordial level being. She is actually technically on a level higher even than some of the gods, as her powers affect gods as well. She is known as the Night Serpent because of the way she feeds. She doesn't require physical sustenance. She feeds on fear. She enjoys gifting people nightmares and making people feel fear, which she can then feed upon to make herself more powerful. She once at one time actually managed to accumulate enough fear to almost destroy a material plane, but was beaten back by a union of the gods of that plane. But it was a very close run thing. She came into being the moment it's rumored she came into being, that she came tongue-tied. It's rumored she came into being the moment the first sentient being felt fear. She is rumored to be ancient, powerful, and not many know about her current goals or thoughts.
I see. I'd like to pose a question to the guard of the room, show him the picture that's in the book, and say, what do you think to this, if you know anything on it?
he sort of leans forwards and he sort of skim reads the text, and he goes, Dendar, interesting creature. Not much is known about her. Why do you ask?
I have a feeling it's more of a deep connection with me than any of the other gods in this book.
Interesting. Well, from what I know, she's not shown any sort of malevolent designs in the past. Well, not since this world's recorded history. She occasionally is rumored to have caused some massive fear-induced trauma in various places, but nothing that's been catastrophic. As far as I know, she's just a being that feeds upon fear and nightmares.
I see. Wouldn't have any, should we say, more privatized books towards information on Dendar.
He sort of has a think, and he goes, I'm afraid if we did, they would be extremely restricted access, as that would fall under the lines of cults. For something like that, you would have to petition to be able to read the book. It would not even be just a case of paying for the room. This would be something that you would have to petition for and give a good explanation as to why you needed the book.
I see. Thank you for your explanation.
Not a problem. Are you finished reading?
I believe I am.
Okay. By this point, by the way, you have used up most of your hour. It was getting around to the point where you would have had to pay to continue using the room.
Yeah. I'll go back and look around on any books for gateways and magic spells of teleportation.
Okay.
Thing.
So, searching around, you find books on theories about these things in the public stacks. Thoughts on how you find various little bits and pieces, anecdotes about possible portals. The only one that seems to have any solid proof is about something about a portal to the Feywild in somewhere called the Verdant Labyrinth. But other than that, everything else is very much hearsay and rumor. As for anything about teleportation spells, again, there are theories and written accounts of such spells existing, but actual instructions, you get the feeling, are probably restricted.
Time to go back to the desk. What do you think, Jormungandr?
Up to you.
Fair enough. I will head back to my fantastic new friend at the desk.
She sort of turns around and goes, hello again. You must have quite the thirst for knowledge.
What can I say? It's interesting. Do you happen to have any restricted books on teleportation or dimensional gateways?
One moment, and she sort of turns around and starts sort of scanning the huge thing of drawers behind her. She eventually pulls a number of them out and sort of flicks through the cards, and she goes, yes, we have a number of books on dimensional travel and a couple on teleporting spells. The ones you would be able to access without petition, just by paying for the room. There's probably about 3 books you could get access to for each of those.
How much is it for all 3 in a room?
Well, you're allowed a total of 6 books per room as long as you've paid for it. So you'd be able to take all 6 in a room with you.
I will do that then.
That'll be another silver.
I'll hand over the silver.
Okay. At this point, the same senior lawkeeper comes over and he sort of sees it's you are getting to, just sort of shakes his head, takes the cards from the younger lawkeeper. He escorts you to the room and lets you sit down. He then goes off, and after about 10 minutes, he comes back with 6 large leather-bound tomes. He places them in front of you in 2 piles of 3. He points to the right pile. That is dimensional, and then to the left pile, that is teleportation.
Okay. I'll start with dimensional gates.
Okay, so what exactly are you trying to find with dimensional gates? Are you just trying to find locations, or just the theory on it?
Locations.
Okay. So reading. So make me a general investigation check.
Investigation. Where is investigation? It's there. Realise what I do it on here. Not the dice. 20. Oh, that's going to be a 7.
A 7. Okay. So reading through the books, again, there are a lot of rumors and hearsay. You don't find anything solid. Again, there is that mention of the Verdant Labyrinth. The only other thing that you get is that there is rumored to be an Illithid colony in the Nulladzar Spires.
Okay. With that, I'll move on to the teleportation one.
Okay, and what exactly are you looking for in here?
Access to spells.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me another investigation check separate because this is a new topic.
Yeah. $18.
Okay, bit better. Flicking through the book, you find that there are a large number of spells that could be classed as teleportation. There are some that are rather simple. There's one called Blink, which just literally moves you from one plane, from the material plane to the ethereal plane, and then back again, almost instantly, as sort of a constant possible defense against attack. You find that there are various ones, things like Misty Step, Thunder Step. All of these are potential. You could possibly find scrolls for, or you could potentially, as a wizard, take time to learn. And then looking, this book doesn't really detail much about higher level spells, but you can tell that there are things like there is one mention there of something that is probably what you are thinking about, which is a spell called Plane Shift, which is a spell that allows you to move between planes at will.
I see. I'm going to take note of all that, and I'm going to close the book, and I'm going to say I'm ready to leave. I've got all that I need.
Very well. We thank you for your patronage, and please feel free to come back and use the library at any time. He sort of gathers up the books, opens the door to let you out, and he then moves off, and he moves further into the library, and eventually he reaches you can sort of see in the distance a large black steel door, which he sort of presses his hand against, mutters a word, and it then swings open, revealing a set of stairs leading down. And the minute he steps through the door, slams shut behind him.
That's where they keep your notes.
Okay. So at that point, we'll now move back to the rest of the party, as I'm assuming you're now just spending the rest of your time basically browsing the rest of the library.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So back with the main group. You are now leaving. You're still within the Patchwork Bazaar. However, you've completed all the business you have there. Where are you guys wanting to go now?
So Valdisian's got his stuff and Ert's got their stuff?
You haven't yet collected them. Basically, all that just happened with Yami happened in the same time you were ordering that.
Right.
Is Ert next to me right now, or is she with Talia?
Ert is with you in the group.
Okay, I'm going to take Ert to one side and just go... I realised what you said earlier. What did Tritherian tell you?
He said I should be a cleric, I think.
Okay, just that you should be
At that point, she clutches her holy symbol and holds a hand up, and you watch as it glows with a golden light.
Understood. Did Tritherian tell you anything else that you need as a cleric?
I need spell components and armor and weapons.
Okay. Talia, can I pinch you
Yeah?
for a few seconds?
How can I help?
Ert says she needs some spell components. I think that's your forte more than mine.
Well, I mean, I only know what I read in a book. I'm not a magic caster per se.
Did you acquire spell components earlier?
I did.
Could you take Ert to where you got spell components so that she could buy whatever she needs? And I'm going to hand Ert a platinum because I have no idea of money.
Okay. Sort of takes it and goes, ooh, shiny.
Best keep that hidden, little one.
Okay. And she sort of tucks it inside her tunic.
Come along then.
Okay. And Talia, you and her move back to the component store from earlier. The man sees you coming and he was just sort of leant on the counter and he straightens up and goes, hello again. You need more components?
Yes, for my friend here.
What do you need? At this point, for the sake of brevity, describes all the components she needs for the spells that you'll have picked for her, Ben. And he quite happily moves around, collecting up all the pieces that is needed. And he goes, in total, that's silver. It's pretty standard components.
I'll cover it. Don't worry, little one.
Okay. So you pass over the silver, and he goes, passes over a small, pouch on a belt, as he's noticed that doesn't have anything to carry it in. And he goes, the pouch and the belt are free.
Oh, thank you.
Not a problem. And may I say how lovely it is to see a goblin mixing so
A
well.
little girl.
No, a goblin. There are a couple in the city.
No?
Yes, I believe one opened up a sweet shop in the Gateway District.
Interesting. Come along, Ert.
Okay. And by this point, she's already latched the component pouch onto her trousers and looks quite happy with it. So you two return back to the rest of the party. Balasar, at this point, you are down to sort of your last couple of bags of food, by the way.
Oh no.
Rowan's just looking in astonishment at how quickly the food went.
So, is there anything else anyone would like to do?
I think I'd like to break away for a bit.
Okay.
I want to investigate that spire.
So you want to go back to the Gateway District?
Yeah.
Okay, so you inform the others that you're going to probably just go on your own sort of way, and you head back towards the Gateway District. We'll handle that in a second.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of copy what Talia did earlier and point at a random person in the district and go,
Oh God.
You there, I'm looking for something. Can you help me?
The person you point at turns, and you suddenly realize this person's bigger than you. This person is pale of skin with black tattoos all over them, and blank white eyes, and sort of turns to look at you, and you see that they're wearing dock worker clothes and carrying 2 giant barrels, one on each shoulder, and he sort of turns and looks at you and goes, "What?"
I'm new
With
in
that,
town.
Rowan jumps in front of Valdizian and go, "What is it you're trying to ask? Leave it with me."
I need to find either the Arms and Armor place or the Wilmer's Magic Shop.
He sort of overhears that and goes, "Neither of them are here. They're in the Gateway District. What are you doing in the docks if you're looking for them?"
We've got very, very lost.
You hear him go, "Tourists," and he just starts walking off.
And I kind of hang my head in shame and go, thank you.
It's alright, we all have days like that. Right, let's find our way to the Gateway District then.
Okay. Retracing your steps that you'd taken earlier in the day, you used the same alleyway cut through that you had earlier on, and you find yourself actually catching up with Talia because she is heading in the same direction. And you reach back to the gate, leading back to the northern section of Maham, back into the Gateway District.
Okay.
So, as you enter, Talia, you split off to the left, heading towards the large obsidian tower. The rest of you do remember where you were told that the arms and armor place was behind the bloodied basin, which was across from the jigging jester. But you're not sure about where the Wilmer's shop is.
I would rather find the Wilmer magic shop first, I think. I think that would be probably the best bet to try and hide some of these wings before I get some armor, if they have something that would do that. I'm saying this to Ralwyn at the moment, so could you help me try and find directions?
Sure. Rowan kind of has a look around and she'll attempt to try and find someone who maybe looks like they know their way around the town very well.
Okay. So...
Getting ready to roll something.
Let me have a think. Okay. So as you're looking around, you see someone come out of the residential district to your right. A stout-looking dwarf who's currently carrying a bottle in a brown paper bag. He has one eye, bushy red beard and red hair. He's got a tunic on which has a number of stains, and you watch as he sort of sways along and takes a swig out of the bottle and goes...
Rowan just kind of looks at him and goes, "Excuse me, my good fellow, I don't suppose you
Hey,
could help."
what? Oh, hello there. How can I help?
I do beg your pardon, but we've gotten ourselves a little bit lost. Could you give us
That happens to me all the time after a couple more of these.
Well, that's concerning. Anyway,
Oh, don't worry. Sorry. I can handle myself. What is it you needed?
so we are looking for Valdizian. What were the shops called again?
It's called Wilmer's Magic Shop.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember seeing something. Hang on. You watch as he takes a big, long pull from the bottle and you go, that always helps me memory. Oh, this is a bit strong. You're looking for, I think it's Wilmer's Wondrous Wares. You want to go down towards the Grimhaven gate. Just before that, you want to go into the district. I think it's the area behind the Jigging Jester. It's got the silk cheeks. Oh, always very nice to visit there. Well, they don't let me in anymore.
Rowan, by the way, is like trying to make sure she hides this bottle of moonshine mixture that she still has in her bag, I believe.
Hang on.
We can see those rolls, by the way.
This is GM rolls. As you go to move that bottle, he spots it and goes, that for me? Oh, you shouldn't have. And you, as you go to hide it, it's suddenly in his hand.
Hang on just 1 second, as she snatches it back.
Hey, come on, share.
You can have it on one condition.
Aye. What's that condition?
You're going to guide us through the city.
Oh, come on.
I come to kind of back Rowan up and kind of... I'm starting to learn how to flex my wings ever so slightly and flex my wings in an intimidation check and kind of go, we have 2 locations to go to. You can have the whole bottle if you can take us to both locations.
Roll an intimidation check.
Nope.
He sort of looks at you and just goes, "Oh, they're nice. Are they real or is that the bottle?" Whatever. Fine, I'll take you to the place.
Introductions. The name is Dron. Dron Copperbeard. Nice to meet you.
Welcome on board, Dron.
Yeah, thanks. Come on, follow me. And he starts sort of swaying off down the street, occasionally taking pulls from his bottle. He guides you back to the main crossroads, and back past the jigging jester. He then turns right, and directly ahead of you, you can see a 3-story building, done up in painted in reds and pinks, and there are a lot. The top 2 floors have open windows, and you can see a number of scantily clad men and women lounging on window seats and occasionally waving or chatting to people down below. And he sort of, Dron sort of swaggering along, goes, that's the silk cheeks. Oh, worth the money if you get allowed in. Takes another big pull. And then keeps moving past it. To the left, as you're moving past, there is a large round building. And he goes, has some theatre or something? I don't think it's open yet. Yeah, I can't remember. Takes another pull out of his bottle. And he moves round that building. You're now in a courtyard behind the theatre with a fountain in the middle. And he starts moving round past that and towards the wall that is next to Grimhaven. As you're moving past, there is a shop to your left that is a brightly coloured festoon of colour and large windows through which you can see large amounts of cakes, pastries and sweets, and a sign above the door says candied cantrips. Instead, he leads you past that and to what appears to be a small, very tucked away store with very dusty windows. You can see through the displays there is the odd, what appears to be wand or staff on display. But you can't really make much out. The windows are that dirty. But a sign above the door, it says it has 3 large W's, and underneath it, Wilma's Wondrous Wares. Dron turns to you and goes, right, there you go. I've led you there. Now, give me the bottle. Come on, pay up.
I said 2 locations.
Oh, come on. Fine. Whilst you're in there, I'm gonna stay out here and go get another bottle of my own. He sort of finishes his bottle and tosses it to the side and starts swaying off. I'll be back in 30 minutes. I'm sure it'll take you that long.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, whatever.
Rowan just grins.
So you are now all stood before Wilma's Wondrous Wares.
How big is the doorway?
The doorway is large enough for pretty much any member of a species to fit, as long as they're not ridiculously huge. The Goliath you saw earlier probably wouldn't be able to fit too easily. They'd have to squeeze in. But for any one of you, it's absolutely fine.
Even with wings?
You will have a bit of difficulty, but not too much.
Okay. So I'm going to try and almost clench so that I can keep my wings tight in on my back as much as possible, and head in.
As you head in, you push the door open, and there is a beginning of a jaunty jingle of a doorbell before it falls off and hits you on the head.
Ow.
And as you all enter this room, it feels more like a junk shop. There are counters and shelves, but they are just full of stuff. Like, normally in a shop like this, things would be laid out tastefully and nicely, but here there is just, you can see, like, on a coat rack nearby, there is a cloak, a hat, another cloak, a long trench coat, a pair of boots sat on the top. On a shelf nearby, you can see a shield, you can see various potion bottles, and they're all just jammed on, and everything is covered with a layer of dust.
Rowan kind of pops her head through the door going, does anyone even live here anymore?
As you say that, you can hear scuffling and rustling sounds coming from a small curtained door behind a counter, and a voice going, ah, "Shit, shit, shit!"
Wilma?
As you say that, all the candles in the room go out, and a light seems to emanate from the curtained thing, and the curtain is thrown back, and stalking out is a young female gnome, her with bright pink hair cut in a pixie bob. She's dressed in a pink glittery tunic and tight pink leather pants, and she's strutting along, and she climbs up a set of stairs onto the counter, and she goes, "Welcome to Wilma's Wondrous," and then as she takes a step forward, she just trips, face plants onto the counter, and rolls off behind it.
Rowan just like grabs her and picks her up and goes, "You don't really get many customers, do you, love?"
Oh, no.
Puts her back on her feet.
Oh, thank you. I tried to do the impressive entrance and it just never works. Welcome to my shop. I'm Wilma Whipcrack. Welcome to this. And she sort of looks around, and you can see she feels a little bit crushed by what you're having to see.
Oh, don't be too let down with a little bit of a... And Rowan just kind of scoots a finger along some of the shelves, going, a little bit of...
Your finger comes away black.
I don't
a
have
lot
much,
of TLC. It'll be fine.
Don't have much experience with introductions, but that was the most impressive one I've had as of yet.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a win, I think. Well, welcome to Wilma's Wondrous Wares. I'm Wilma.
Rowan has
what are you
just
looking
started
for?
dusting stuff off, by the way.
Yeah, there's just plumes of dust coming up.
I have been recommended your store by Gunter.
I don't know a Gunter, but okay.
He is in one of the taverns nearby. He runs one of the taverns.
Don't go
nearby.
to taverns, but
Okay.
good to know. Good to know that my name's getting out there. Hasn't done the last 20 years I've been here, but that's mainly because of those Arcane Academy jerks.
He has suggested your store is the place to go for magical items that may be of use.
Well, yes, I deal in multiple magical items. What exactly are you looking for? I mean, I can do custom orders, and I can do them quicker than those jerks at the Arcane Academy.
I am potentially looking for something that could slightly obfuscate my new appendages, which are my wings.
Oh, they're nice. Obscure, you say? Might have something. Hang on. And she sort of rushes off past Rowan, who's dusting, and she's like, you hear her go into the back, like, of this shop where all this clutter is, and you just hear, right, where is it? Oh, no. I'll put that back later. Oh, there it is. And she comes rushing back, dragging a very drab-looking black cloak. Ha! This should do ya.
And what is this?
Oh, of course, silly me. And she sort of swings it on, and then she sort of seems to concentrate for a second, and you watch as her form shifts, and she now looks like a goblin.
Interesting.
As you watched, it looked like the cloak literally wrapped around her body, and then her image changed.
How would you exactly describe the magical influence of this cloak?
Well, this was one of my earlier works back when I was still studying at Inbrook. This is known as a Cloak of Illusions. And basically what it does, normally it looks, as you saw, drab, black, normal, but you fix an image in your mind and utter a command word, and it wraps itself around you and then displays the image you had in mind. So there's no limit to the size it can cover, so it should cover your wings as well, and then cover you in an illusion. Your wings will still be there, and if someone touches them, they'll be able to feel them, but you can at least pretend they're not.
And how much would something like this set me back?
Seeing as you're the first customers I've had in ever, we'll say this will set you back. It was an early work, and I just need the gold, so we'll say 20 gold.
Sold.
Excellent! I think this is probably only my 7th ever sale. She sort of whips the cloak off and hands it to you, holding a hand out for the gold.
And I hand the 20 gold. I'm also going to give her an extra 5 because it's one of her only sales.
Oh, well, thank you for the tip. So I have just added that to your journal, Valdizian.
Thank you very much.
Rowan has cleaned a shelf. She sneezed.
As you are cleaning that shelf, your hand brushes up against what appears to be an elaborate decanter.
Oh, this is fancy.
Oh, a decanter of endless water.
Huh? She carries on.
All right. By the way, Balasar and Eridan, if you want to have a look around, you're more than welcome to.
I shall do that.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants, or should I just make a sales pitch?
Well, just before your sales pitch, we could potentially be looking for items that would benefit a very new cleric.
Cleric. Right.
If you have
I
anything
don't
that would benefit
have
them.
anything for a cleric. See, I'm a wizard, arcane. Don't really meddle with the divine. Not really my ballywick, whatever it's called. Not really anything I do. I could maybe have something that might help, but nothing that's really divine.
When you say might help, what do you have in mind?
Hang on. And she sort of scuttles behind the counter and then pulls out a lockbox, silver lockbox, puts it on the top and opens it up, and you can see inside there's various bits of jewelry. She sort of rattles around inside and goes, where did I leave it? There it is. And she pulls out a what appears to be a small iron ring with the head of a ram with curling horns on it. She goes, this could be useful in a pinch. It's a ring of force.
And what does it do?
You point it at someone and it emits force.
How much force?
Depends on how many of the charges that are stored in it you use.
Okay. And how much are you charging for that?
This one's a little bit more pricey. I'd probably say this one's going to come to about 100 gold. The enchantment on this is quite strong.
I'm afraid that's a little bit pricey for our cleric.
Okay, well, bear it in mind. It's always here. Anything else I could potentially interest you in?
I shall stop disturbing you and allow you to do your sales pitch now.
All right.
I would be interested in a bag with more space inside, such as a bag of holding. Do you have any of those?
Right. Unfortunately, no. I could try and make one, but it's not anything I've really had to make before. It would take me a while, but I could eventually maybe make something like that.
How much would that cost? Oh,
probably around about 600 gold.
Oh, 600. Well, I'll keep that in mind for later.
Okay, all right. So, little bit of a sales pitch. Let me see. What have I got? You there, sir. And she points at you, Eridan. I might have something for you, actually. And I might be able to give you a discount because druids don't really come here very often. Hang on. And she reaches into that same jewelry box and eventually pulls out a leather thong that appears to have had stones, feathers, animal claws, nuts and twigs all sort of wound into the leather. And she sort of places it carefully on the desk and goes, right, the guy who sold me this, well, didn't sell me this, gave me this, bit of a weirdo, lived out in nature by himself.
never got his name. He said it was a pendant of the wilds. Something about when a druid takes on some animal form, it gives them some extra survivability or something. I don't know the exact details, but I'd be willing to let you take it off my hands for, I'll say, again, I'm not going to sell this to anyone else, 50 gold.
Sounds reasonable. Very useful to me.
And I just look and go, but it's a thong, correct?
It's a leather thong, yes. It's a necklace, leather thong. You put a pendant on it.
Oh, my
I
mistake.
don't get where you're going with this. So, 50 gold then, sir?
Yep, hand over 50 gold.
Okay. So,
Rowan's cleaned a second shelf.
okay. So, yeah, I've added that to your journal, Eden, if you want to review that at your leisure. Rowan, as you're cleaning off the shelf, it's a shelf full of potion bottles, and there's some that look a bit interesting. You can see one that's a dark brown color that seems to constantly have tremors moving through it. You can see another one that is just almost looks like it's just got water in it. And then your hand brushes something behind them, and you immediately feel your wild magic try and trigger.
Oh, take a very sharp step back.
It's an odd sensation, as it didn't feel like it was trying to trigger outwardly. It was like it was trying to go into whatever you touched.
Oh. Excuse me. What?
Yes?
What is this potion?
It wasn't a potion you touched. As you pull it out,
Oh, was it not?
no, it was something behind it.
Oh,
You
right.
pull out a ring, which is a silver and gold entwined band, which at the very top contains a large opalescent gem that seems to swirl with multiple colors. As Wilma sees it, she goes, "Oh, I've completely forgotten I had that. It's useful for sorcerers, I believe. That's maybe why you had a reaction to it. It's a ring of sorcery. Sorcerers have all this extra magic. Basically, the ring allows you to store it and then draw it out at will. It's just basically like an extra little well of power."
Rowan's just kind of looking at her and then suddenly looks at the ring and looks at her. How much is it worth?
For that, 500 gold.
And she slowly puts it back and carries on dusting. Thank you very much.
I mean, it's probably not going anywhere. Just keep it in mind for when you maybe get a payday.
Sorry,
Sure.
Paddy. GroovyBot just left Discord.
Yeah, don't worry. It's because there's nothing playing.
It's just shifted all of the icons around.
Ah, right.
Sorry.
About that. Let me put something on then. Hang on. Because I let the music end. Where is... No. Stop it. Where is that one particular song? Or not song. Where is that sound?
Da 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
Damn it!
This is where Gunter enters the shop.
Oh.
I'm here to do my striptease.
For his money.
Where has that thong gone?
There we go. That should play something now, at least. So,
Yeah, that's fixed
so-
everything.
yeah, Wilma goes, yes, so, keep it in mind. Let's sort something out. What is sort of your monetary budget, so that I know not to offer you anything too expensive?
Rowan's kind of looking in her pouch because she can't actually remember. Probably because I've lost my sheet.
So probably each of what has the rest of the party generally got? Because that'd be around about the general amounts you would have. Obviously, you've been given the 5 platinum, so you've got 50 gold.
Yeah.
I would budget up to 70 gold.
So yeah, that's probably about your general budget, 60, 70 gold currently.
Right. Okay. So if I just add another. There we go.
So as you say that, she goes, "Oh, right. Enchanted objects are a fair bit more expensive than that, unfortunately. I've got a couple of consumables that might be I could probably part with for a decent price. Hang
I
on.
don't suppose you've got any health potions, have you?
Oh, no. I would probably recommend the Patchwork Bazaar for something like that. Most of the apothecaries who sell them operate out of there, or obviously the Apothecaries Guild. they'll have some for you there. Unfortunately, I mean I can start stocking them if you're going to be looking to buy them often. Yes? No?
They might be useful in time.
Okay. Well, I'll see about starting to get some of them in stock. But for the moment, I've got those potions over there that you've already seen. One is a potion of Tremor Sense, and the other is a potion of Craving. The Tremor Sense is probably out of your price range. The Craving, I'd probably let that go for 50 gold.
What does the potion
And-
of craving do?
Does exactly what it says on the tin. You put something in it, food or drink, it then takes on the color of that, and anyone who drinks the potion after that instantly has a craving for that. It's more of a gag item than a serious potion, but it could have its uses. Other than those, the only things that I think that you're able to afford would be... She sort of reaches under the counter and pulls out 2 small bags, which she sort of puts out. I've got some insight incense and some dust of sneezing and choking. They're probably 50 gold each for the bags.
Yeah, Rowan's still just dusting off the shelves.
Can I buy both the potion of craving and the bag of sneezing and choking, please?
All right.
I did not take Valtisian as a joker.
That'll be 70 gold in total.
Understood, and I hand the cash over.
Oh, wonderful. I can do some more enchantment with this gold. So I will add those to your journal. And the dust. There you go. They've been added to your journal. Right. Well, I think that's covered pretty much everything that you've probably got budget for. Anything else I can help you with?
I think we're okay now. How clean is the shop looking?
You've managed to clean in that time probably about a 10th of the shop, and the rest is still just horribly filthy. Wilmer at this point sort of goes, are you going to be coming back often? Yes? No? I mean, you look like adventurers, and I'd be quite happy to start making items for you, as long as you're repeat customers and don't go to the Arcane Academy. Yes?
Kind of takes a side eye to her and is like, do we get a special discount for being loyal customers?
Seeing as you'd be the first loyal customers I've ever had, yes!
And Rowan kind of stops and goes, by the way, what is it about the arcane thingy that you're not really into?
How much do you know about the Arcane Academy and Inbrook?
Not much.
Right, okay. So, Inbrook is the main magical capital of the world. The magic university there is amazing. It's better than almost anything you'll find anywhere else. Unfortunately, the Arcane Academy here in Maham is a bit big for its boots. I studied at Inbrook, graduated top of my class as an enchanter, came here to set up shop. Unfortunately, The academy is already established as the enchanting service of the city. The only people who can afford enchantment are the nobles. Where do the nobles go? The Arcane Academy. Where do they send their children? The Arcane Academy. So, what happened to a poor enchanter from Ingbrook trying to just set up shop? She gets shunted to the back of the district where no one can find her, and basically gets told that she's never going to make any money. Despite the fact I can enchant better items than them in half the time that they can.
Well, don't put yourself down. You've had some customers today.
I know, and I'm really hoping you'll come back. Like I say, I'll start considering a discount, and I'll start seeing if I can make some items that might be more interesting for you. Obviously, if you ever want anything custom, let me know, and I'll tell you how long it'll take and how much it'll cost.
Thank you very much, Wilma.
Not a problem. Please
Thank you.
come back again.
We will
I'm
do.
sure we will.
And Rowan might
Okay.
clean even more of your shop.
She sort of looks around and goes, I think I'm going to have to learn a spell for that.
As that Rowan just stopped in a track and she went, "Oh, I have prestidigitation."
That's the spell I was talking about, actually. I don't think I've quite got that one yet.
Rowan just turns round and casts prestidigitation.
Okay, so a 10-foot area of the store is now just clean.
There you go.
Oh, lovely. Can you just do that 10 more times?
Afraid I'm limited
Oh,
to how many I can do, but
I thought it was a cantrip.
it actually says if you cast a spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time.
Yeah, the cleaning is an
And you can
instantaneous effect.
Okay, that's fine. Yep. In that case, yeah, Rowan actually takes the effort and goes round and prestidigitations everything, just cleans the lot.
Okay, so now you can see all the stuff that was covered in dust is now. You can see it all. It's beautiful. You can see in one corner what looks to be a silver statuette of a raven. You can see in another corner what appears to be a doll-sized throne. There's what looks to be a can of paint on a shelf, and a pair of boots made out of what looks to be some form of silver leather. Are the main things that sort of jump out at you.
Rowan kind of jokes to. Well, she kind of looks at the little throne and jokes to Valdizzy and is like, "Do you think I'll like that one day?"
I would hate to think what Ert would like one day.
With that Rowan just kind of giggles.
Right, well, come back again. Thank you for your business.
No problem. I hope it picks up soon. We'll try and spread some word for you.
Thank you. That would be wonderful. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And that's it.
We head out.
Okay, so whilst this is happening, we'll handle you guys again in a second. We're now going to swap to Talia.
Okay.
Yay.
So you split off from the rest of the group as they headed, as you headed into the Gateway District. You headed left and headed towards the tall obsidian spire. You are now stood at the base of this giant obsidian spire that looms over everything else in the district. As you look up at it, you can see that at regular intervals there are cornices that all have gargoyles on them, either in the shapes of ravens, large black dogs, or a woman shrouded in black robes who is hooded with no facial features on display.
She kind of eyes it in wonder for a second.
As you move around the base, you eventually come and find a large set of front doors, which are shaped like a spread pair of black wings. In fact, the doors themselves, the wood is shaped to look like feathers.
This is kind of cool. I tentatively knock.
As soon as your fist touches the door, they just swing open soundlessly.
Ominous. And
Looking
steps
in,
forward.
you can see what appears to be an entry chamber. There's a number of benches on either side. Other than that, the floor itself is made out of a pure black marble. The walls are made out of white marble, and there are black marble pillars. And stood opposite you, flanking another door that appears to lead deeper in, are a pair of what you assume are clerics dressed in black hooded robes.
Hello?
One of them sort of looks over to you, pulls back the hood, and you see extremely pale skin, pointed elven ears, and red eyes. This appears to be some form of elf, but not any that you have ever seen before. She steps forward, and her hair is done in like a warrior's top knot. And she sort of comes forward, puts her hands in front of her and bows and goes, "Welcome, Death Touched. How may we
Death?
help you?"
What's a death touched?
"You are a Death Touched.
What is that?
One who has been touched by the Raven Queen."
Could you tell me more about it?
"Come." And she sort of makes a gesture with her hand, and the other cleric, who you can now see is also this same pale elven sort of race, pushes open the door behind her, and the other one who was speaking to you leads you deeper into the temple. It leads to a spiral staircase that leads both up and down. She leads you up the stairs. As you reach a landing, you can see into a large chamber that appears to have a sunken pool filled with what appears to be a black viscous fluid. And all the stone around it has red veins traveling through the marble towards it. However, she leads you past that further up, and you see, as you reach the landing, there appears to be what appears to, from the glance you get through an open door, what appears to be living quarters with more clerics moving around inside. And she leads you up the final level, up to basically the top level where these stairs go. Whether there's higher levels, you're not sure. And she knocks on a very plain black door, and you hear a voice go, "Come in." She opens the door, and you see, sat behind a very Spartan desk. Again, the whole room is done in whites and blacks. There's a number of bookcases, and a large illusion on the wall that makes it see-through, so she can look out into over the skyline of Maham. And sat behind the desk is an older-looking member of this elven race. Small wrinkle lines beginning to show, and her black hair is streaked with white. And the vestments she's wearing have the odd little bit of silver here and there, denoting higher rank. The woman who brought you up goes, "Black Mother, a Death Touched is here and needs explanation. I leave her in your care." "Very well." The cleric who showed you up gestures you in and then moves off back down the stairs. "Please, Death Touched, take a seat," as she indicates
Okay.
a chair opposite her on the desk.
I take a seat.
"Very well." As you get a closer look at her, you can see there is a mantle of black feathers around the ruff of her hood, and her braid is coming down the front of her body. Her features are classically beautiful, but there is a long trio of scars going through one of her eyes, which has gone milky white with blindness. "I'm sure you have many questions. My name is Liane, and I am the Black Mother of the Raven's Roost, the temple to the Raven Queen."
Yes, So, I mean, all I really have to go on is a weird dream.
Describe the dream to me.
This isn't my first life.
Yes, that sounds right. You have died at a time, and either through merely Our Lady's intervention or the joint intervention of other deities, you have been granted a reprieve from passing over. Our Lady has exerted her will to return you back to your body.
So what does it mean?
Only you can find that out. I can tell you why. I can't tell you why the Raven Queen decides anything. She is as she is. Unfortunately, I merely preach her teaching and occasionally commune with her, but she will not answer anything to do with another person. Each person's thread is personal. She will not discuss it unless it is the most dire of circumstances. Not even to us, Shadar Kai.
So would she not talk to me?
She might. However, to commune with the Queen is not something to be taken lightly.
How would I go about it?
You would have passed the chamber as you came up. The pit with the black liquid.
What do I do? Take a bath?
In a sense, one must sink beneath and lose themselves to the depth pool. Only
Sounds
then
simple enough.
there are risks.
Like,
The death pool transports you to where the Raven Queen resides, so that you may have an audience. However, during the transition, she is not the only one who lives upon that plane.
oh, creepy. Who else resides there?
Oh, no deities are sentient beings. No, these are twisted creatures. Things that have become ruled by emotion, or a lack of it, and seek to fill a void. They are not to be trifled with easily. It is very rare that the pool allows to interfere, but I cannot make any guarantees.
Is there nothing I could do to defend myself from them? Prevent them
Oh,
from...
of course. If you are interrupted during your transition, you will still have all your equipment. You will be stranded within the Shadowfell.
I've heard some bad things about the Shadowfell.
Indeed. But if you wish to make the chance, we can see what we will see. Otherwise, you may just have to wait until she contacts you.
I would like to try.
Very well. Come. And she gets up from her desk and she leads you back down 2 levels to that room of black marble with red veins and the sunken pit filled with the black fluid that appears to suck the light. And as she stands with you next to it, goes, please submerge yourself and
What?
lose yourself.
Just float?
No,
But under
Sink.
the water?
sink and lose yourself.
Oh,
Let
okay, here it goes. And I slowly step into it and just
Okay.
keep walking until
As you step into this liquid, the minute your feet touch it, you feel like you have stepped into sub-zero temperatures. You can barely feel your feet anymore. They have numb.
Is it meant to be so cold?
It is linked to death. Did you expect a summer's day?
No, I suppose not. And I keep going.
Okay. You keep moving, and now you are submerged up to your waist, and if you can barely feel your legs even moving, all you know is the only way you know they're moving is that you are moving forward. You feel like you're just losing connections with your body as you step further and further into this liquid. It's now up to your chest, to your neck. You can't feel anything below your neck. It's such a strange sensation. You feel like you should be able to move your arms. Your brain is sending the signals, but it's not getting anything back to say that your arm has moved. It almost feels like you are just a disembodied head floating on this expanse of black liquid.
Talia kind of snickers about the visual she's come up with in her head before she goes completely under.
Okay. As you sink down, the light is gone. You're in a black void, and you can feel this liquid flowing in your mouth, through your nose. It's sticking to your eyes. Everything, it's just black. All your senses are gone. You can't hear, you can't see, you can't smell, you can't touch, and you can't taste. Feels like you're just floating in a black void. What do you do?
Try and relax and clear my mind like I used to do before a mission back in my military days.
Okay. As you clear your mind, you find yourself focusing almost too much on your fake heartbeat. You've been making your heart beat, and you've been pretending to be alive so much that you hadn't noticed it. But now that there's just blackness, you can feel it beating, and you can feel your lungs trying to breathe.
But I don't need to breathe.
So what do you do?
Just remind myself that I haven't needed to breathe for quite a while now and to not panic.
As you do that, your lungs just stop. Your heart's still going, but your lungs have stopped. What do you do?
I guess I just wait.
Okay. As you sit there and wait, eventually you feel your heart slow. 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 Stop. And then everything around you, you feel movement, a suction, and suddenly you feel like you're being pulled through a tube, flying down through this black river, and eventually you end up somewhere else, and a figure appears before you, though there is no light. So how you can see this, you're not sure. The figure is huge, immense, dwarfing you entirely. A large figure in a black robe with a cowl drawn down deep over the face, and you can just feel its attention on you.
Hi?
It sort of inclines its head, but otherwise does not speak.
Could you help me?
I already have. You
By
notice that the
being
sound
what?
doesn't come in through your ears, it's just in your head.
Talia closes her mouth with a grin and thinks her next question, testing a theory. Was it you that brought me back?
Clever girl. Yes,
This is so cool.
myself and another. Your sponsor, if you will.
Sponsor?
You were due to die. You should have died. But he sponsored you.
I don't suppose he told you why.
That is not my place to tell, my dear.
Am I gonna have to talk to him too?
I think you're just going to have to figure things out yourself. The figure sort of leans forward, and now you can just catch the tiniest glimpse underneath the cowl of a mask with a set of painted black lips. I always find it entertaining when the death touched is in the world. You see, it gives me a link, a way to view things. So I'm not always opposed when one is sponsored. However, you should be careful. I only do this once.
So, no dying? Or I'm definitely dead this time?
Well, if you don't get returned by a cleric, I suppose. I do find that a bit annoying. Death should not be a revolving door.
I suppose not.
Now, do you come here for any other reason?
I just wanted to know what I am and why I'm here. Why am I back? What do I need to do?
Again, that is not my tale to tell. And the one who sponsored you is not the sort to tattle. Prefers you take action yourself. I'm sure in time. As a hand reaches forward, the tip of a finger, the same sort of size as your body, barely touches you. And as it pulls back, you watch as a bright red string sort of comes out of your chest, glowing.
What the hell?
And it's attached to her finger, and it sort of brings it all the way up to in front of the cowl and looks at it and goes, "Until then, your string is still weaving your story. Have fun." And she sort of clicks the fingers, and your mouth and face break the surface of the liquid back in the raven's roost.
Kind of shake my hair out and be like, well, that was weird.
The Black Mother comes forward and holds a hand out to you. Come along, dear.
I take it.
She helps you back up and out, and as you come out, you notice you're not wet. As you're moving away, the black liquid is seeping off of your body and clothes and back into the pool instantly.
That is the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Get used to it. Now, is there anything else I can do for you, Death Touched?
I don't think I'm going to find the answers I need here.
But you are always welcome, as you have been touched by Our Lady.
Do you have any, stuff that could help me?
Not that we would give you now. No, not without becoming a member of our...
A member of your order?
Indeed.
How?
A cleric? Or perhaps a paladin?
I see.
We have not had a champion in a while.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
True. There is the rumors of one of our sects opening up some form of extra activities. Maybe you could contact them.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
From what I know, I believe they operate out of the Blade Mountain.
Where is that?
Probably about 200 miles east of here.
I'll think about it.
I believe it's known also as the last bastion of the dwarf.
Of the dwarfs?
Indeed.
Interesting. Well, I will bid you good day then.
She escorts you back down to the entry chamber, and sort of as you start to walk out, she calls out, "Don't worry, we have a slab in the Maudlin Mausoleum ready."
What?
You have been death-touched. It's only right that we do your funeral rites.
Right. Okay. And she walks away feeling very disturbed.
Okay. So, we'll now move back to the rest of the party. You've all just stepped out of Wilma's shop, and you watch as Dron Copperbeard is now sort of leant against a wall nearby. He's got an even larger bottle in a brown paper bag and is just swigging it, and he goes, "Ah, done are you?"
Yes. You've got one more shop to take us to, and Rowan pulls out this moonshine, or you won't get this.
Well, I want that. So, where are we going?
I think it's called Asgun Arms and Armor.
Let me have let me have a think. Asgarn, yeah. Oh, she's a ballbuster. Right, come on, follow me. And he starts stumbling off back through the streets, leading you back through the fountain courtyard, back past the closed theatre and the silk cheeks, back round the front of the Jigging Jester, and he starts heading across the road towards the Bloodied Basin. And he goes, well, if you ever need to, if you ever need to find me, that's where I'm around quite a lot of the time, in there in the Bloody Basin. But anyway, we're going behind. Come on. And he sort of leads you round this squat round building. And there is behind it, you see there is the round building with a chimney with smoke coming out, which is obviously a forge, with a number of outbuildings stretching off it, and you can hear ting, ting, ting. Oh, good, she's working on something. She probably won't kill me. Right, bottle.
Rowan turns around. She kind of holds the bottle out and says, I will warn you, this will knock you out. Just with a slight grin on her face, and then hands it over.
He takes it, looks at you and goes, aye, we'll see about that. And he just downs it.
I'm going to stay around and see if he's still standing. Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Just check. Yeah. He downs the bottle, smacks his lips and goes, paint stripper. Yeah, it's not too bad, I suppose. Chucks it over his shoulder as the bottle smashes, and he goes, right, see you later. And he sort of stumbles off.
As he
looking
goes to
no
stumble
worse
off,
the wear.
I'm just going to move a bottle within my own pack around and kind of shift that around.
Right, okay. No, he does not appear to hear it. He's just walking along, humming to himself now, quite happy.
Okay, no worries.
Rowan is absolutely amazed. She's like, wow, he can hold his drink.
That's dwarves for you.
Yeah. There you go,
So-
Valdesian. One
Okey-doke.
shot.
So I'm going to stick my head through the door.
Okay. There's no door, but you look into one of the outbuildings, which is open fronted. It's like more like a veranda than anything, just to keep the rain off. And you see there a person hammering away at an anvil, and as they lift the glowing sword up, you see they're not using pliers. They're holding this red hot metal in their hand. And as you get a closer look, you see the distinctive red skin of a tiefling.
Good afternoon.
They turn, and you now see that this is a female tiefling. She's 5 foot, red skinned. She's got very close shaved hair, almost like a crew cut. Her horns are black and swept back. She's wearing her vest tunic and leather breeches with a heavy apron over them. But she's not wearing gloves, and she's still holding this glowing white brand of metal in her bare hand. And she just sort of turns to look at you and goes, "Aye, what do you want?"
Sorry to disturb your work, but I've heard that you are the best place in all of Maham to come for armor and arms.
That's right. I supply both the Bloodied Basin and the Grand Arena. The name's Amara Asgarn.
Okay, I am currently looking for some new armor, potentially some lightweight armor that would still facilitate the my ability to fly. And the robe that I put on earlier, I kind of sweep to one side to reveal the wings that I've got.
Ah, interesting. All right. Hang on 1 second. And she sort of goes off, and you see her go into a different outbuilding. And takes her a couple of minutes, but then she comes back with a set of studded leather armor, which has 2 holes in the back that appear to be for wings. This was meant for an Aarakocra at one point. Never paid for it though, so I suppose with a little bit of adapting, it probably fits you.
Okay, how much would you be looking for that piece?
The Aarakocra already covered most of the payments, so we'll say 20 gold.
That's fine. I'm also looking for some armor for a little one of mine who is looking to be a cleric, and I kind of push Ert forward.
Hal. Alright. Goblin. Let me see. She sort of goes, what sort of armor? Are you looking for heavy armor, medium armor, light armor?
Probably some kind of light armor, leather, very similar to what I've got.
Alright, hang on. She sort of goes off again and then comes back with a smaller set of leather armor, just plain, not studded. Halfling armor, probably fit alright. Come on, give them a try. Let's see. I'll need to see if I need to make any adjustments. So as you both put on the different sets of armor, they actually fit quite well. She sort of moves around you and sort of pulls a buckle here and there and goes, "Yeah, actually these are pretty good fit. I don't think I need to make any changes." All right, for the pair, 40 gold.
That's fine, and I pay the 40 gold. I'll also say, would it be possible to forge or create a smaller mace that could be used? I hear mace are good weapons for clerics.
Oh, I've got halfling maces. They'd probably be all right. Standard stock, probably 10 gold.
That's fine.
She sort of reaches over and pulls one out of a weapon and just hands it to Ert.
Cool. Sorry, I'm just doing the cash thing.
That's fine. Right. Was that it, or did you have anything else?
That's everything that I'm personally looking for. Do you need anything more?
No. Thank you.
What about you, Rowan? Do you need any more armor, or are you okay?
Fine. Don't you worry about me.
Okie doke. So that's all that I have business for, and I kind of nod my head and go, thank you for making these items for us.
Yeah, not a problem. I had them on hand, so feel free to come back when you need anything else.
We will do. Thank you very much. And I nod again and kind of move to leave.
As you guys move to leave, you hear a familiar voice from earlier in the day. Asgarm, have you got the stuff for the Grand Arena yet? Ah, not him again. Ivan, yes, your order is ready. Just hang on a second. And she goes off, and you see the same man you saw earlier who gave you directions and was trying to sell you on where he worked before you all walked away from him, and who Rowan gave a very dirty look. And he goes, "Ah, hello again. Would you like to hear about the Grand Arena now?"
Go on, I've got time.
Ah, well, the Grand Arena, as you can see, and he points across the road to the great big Colosseum structure. We hold games every month. Anyone's welcome to enter. If you win, cash prize, obviously. If not, if you just wish to spectate, there are many, many gamblers and books on the run. Easy ways to make money. Although, never bet against my champion. She's never lost.
Who is your champion?
Oh, we don't say her name. That's just no. She is the masked champion. Bit of suspense, you see.
Why do you not say her name?
Because she asks me not to.
She
Why
doesn't
else?
have a fort name, a alias that she uses for the arena?
The masked gladiator.
Huh. How original.
And supposed somebody was to enter, who would we be fighting against?
Depends. If you wish to issue a challenge to the masked gladiator, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, you can enter. There's normally a couple of free-for-all fights against various gladiators, or there's the wild beast fights. Sometimes we manage to catch an aberration or two, a little bit more risky, but good payout. Good payout if you put on a good show. Other than that, there's occasionally the odd arcane bout. The only other thing is obviously the condemned criminals, who sometimes get sentenced to death in the ring.
Well, okay. Good to know. We'll pass it round.
And the condemned criminals, they're the only ones that are in chains, correct? Or
Well, of course. Gladiators can't fight in chains.
but they have freedom of movement and can do what they will with their winnings, correct?
Yes. If you're suggesting that I own slaves, that's illegal here.
I just thought I'd check. Other areas are not so modern with their ways of putting on entertainment.
Pah! Philistines. Slave gladiators don't put on half as good a show as those who are doing it of their own free will. And also, the gambling is much better when they're free will. So, can I expect to see you all there? I believe the next games is in 3 days. If you want to enter, just come on down and sign your name.
Rowan kind of leans over to Valdisian and whispers, are you actually considering this?
Not at this moment. But should we need some more cash?
Yeah, I agree. With that, Rowan goes, we'll consider it.
That's all I can ask. At this point, Asgarm comes back and she sort of just dumps a big package into Ivan's arms. It's like, she goes, there you go. That's all your armor and weapons that you ordered. Thank you. And he starts stumbling off towards the Grand Arena.
Would you like a hand with that?
No, I'm fine. And he just keeps sort of stumbling off.
Are you
At this
sure?
point, Amara sort of turns to you and goes, I don't know what he said to you, but be careful. He's a cheat and a slimy bastard.
Who actually is he? Does he own that arena?
He is the manager. He runs it. The arena is owned by the Emperor, but he assigned Ivan to run it.
and Ivan since then has been turning a constant profit. How much of that profit goes into his own pockets, I don't know.
Interesting.
And when you say he's a cheat, in what way?
Let's just say I'm pretty sure he's occasionally paid people to take falls in the arena, so that certain nobles win bets.
Understood. And I kind of chuck a silver and just go, "Thank you for the information."
She just snatches it out the air and goes, "Just giving you a friendly warning."
No, it's appreciated. And with that, Rowan goes, right, I think we're all done.
Yeah, we just need to go back and get our clothes.
Yep. It doesn't take you long. You go back and you collect 3 sets of clothes for both you and Ert. Yours done in blue and gold, and Ert's done in white and gold. You've got sets of tunics and trousers, and for you as well, there is actually a trench coat with holes for your wings.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm going to tip 10 gold as a thank you for doing the extra work.
Oh, not a problem. Now, Yami and Talia,
Yeah.
was there anything else either of you wanted to accomplish with the rest of the day whilst these guys have been doing those last few bits?
I want to go back to my room
Mm-hmm.
and try to do my find familiar spell now that I have the components.
Okay. Yami, was there anything you wanted to do?
I wanted to go and get my gauntlet looked at. Maybe
Okay.
Smith. So I'll ask around for that.
Okay.
Okay.
So you ask around and you eventually get pointed to the same armorer that the other guys had been sent to. You get sent to Amara Asgard.
Okay.
Probably bump into each other.
So you do bump into them as they're just sort of moving away from it.
Well, so you guys are over here. I was told to come over this way for the blacksmith, or at least armorer, is the way to put it.
Yeah, just right there. Beware, she's quite a feisty lady.
Yes.
At this point, she having heard this, turns around and goes, "Can I get back to my smithing? What do you need?"
Oh,
I just make a comment of, "You probably need some heavy armor. I know how squishy you are." And give him a smirk.
I'll pat his back and I say, yeah, let's go with that. Heavy armor for me, and a nice thin tunic for you.
So you're looking for heavy armor. I mean, you don't really look like you've got the build.
No, I'm just looking for this gauntlet here. If there any improvements you can make to it.
She sort of takes the gauntlet and looks at it and goes, "Pretty crude. What exactly are you wanting it to do?"
Well, I have a plan to use it as a bit. Well, I'd like to make it a more defensible piece, but I doubt it's going to be anything too great. But any improvement is an improvement to it.
All right. Okay. She sort of gives it a look over and gives it a quick sort of cursory examination. Well, I can make it more flexible. Make it so that you can move your fingers a bit easier. The only other thing I could probably do is extend the arm guard so that it goes up to your elbow. Wouldn't really give you much in the way of defense. Might be able to block a few things here and there, but I mean, it's not going to give you much coverage, anything I do to it, really, without turning it into a proper piece of armor, which will weigh you down.
It doesn't have to. Just the little piece of defense would be more than anything I need.
Fair enough. Give me a day. I'll see what I can do with it.
At the same point, I'm going to bring out Jormungandr. Do you do anything for pseudo dragons?
Not ever really been asked about that. I mean, I could try. I don't think I'd be able to do a huge amount.
I'm
might
happy
be
to
be-
pay for the first time.
Tell you what, I'd need to know a little bit more about him
Mhm.
and where he would need to be actually protected. So, I'll cut you a deal.
Okay.
You go and speak to Marge down in the Sapphire Docks. See what she says about where he actually needs armoring. Get her to make me a list, and I'll see what I can maybe start whipping up for you.
I can do that. Thank you.
Not a problem. I'll get started on this gauntlet, though.
You have my thanks. I'll
And
put
I'll have
over
your gold as well, eventually.
You will, but in the good faith, I will give over 2 gold pieces as just a little early piece for it.
She takes it and goes, that's the start. Go on, get away so I can get to work.
And I'll head over to the place that you just said that it's totally not just left my mind.
So she didn't actually tell you a place. She said to go find Marge in the Sapphire Docks.
Sapphire Docks. Whereabouts would that be?
You don't know. You've not been there. If the rest of the party is still around, they've been to the Sapphire Docks, so you could maybe ask them.
Time to run after the party.
Okay, so you run after the party and catch up with them. I'm assuming as they're heading back to the Jigging Jester.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. Don't suppose you guys have heard of the oh god, I've already forgot again.
It was the Sapphire Docks.
Thank you. The Sapphire Docks. Been told to go and find someone there.
Unfortunately, I was using a guide, but I seem to have misplaced him.
Oh, that's quite unlucky.
Yeah, you guys would you do know that the Patchwork Bazaar you'd been to earlier in the day was in the
That
Sapphire
is,
Docks.
yeah. Sorry, I take that back. I remember exactly where it is. So yeah, Rawin will take Yami over.
Okay. So the rest of you return back to the Jigging Jester, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll quickly just do Talia's familiar summoning.
Okay.
So Talia, you inscribe the circle, place your brazier in the center, light the charcoal and place the incense and herbs in it to burn. You carry out the 10-minute ritual and you watch as a form begins to appear in the smoke. What creature would you like as a familiar, and what basis are you taking for it? Is it a fiend, a celestial, or a fae?
Decisions. That doesn't really change its stats, does it?
No.
I'll go with a fiend raven.
Okay, so you're going fiend. So you watch as this smoke turns red as the spell reaches down into the 9 layers of hell and pulls back a creature to bind to your service in the form of a raven. The raven is pitch black. It's average size for a raven, and it flutters across and lands upon your shoulder and goes and sort of nuzzles against you. Its eyes are a bright red.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Great minds.
And you feel the link form between yourself and your familiar. You can feel the empathic bond, and you know that you can send it instructions within 100 feet.
I kind of stroke its under feathers and then kind of gesture for it to sit on my shoulder.
Yeah, it sort of flutters up to your shoulder and rests there.
I need to give you a name.
Right.
I think I'll call you Queenie. You like that? Awesome.
Okay.
I'll go downstairs and get a drink.
Okay.
With my raven
So-
on my shoulder.
Yami and Rowan, you travel now back. Rowan, you have already been here, but you, Yami, are fresh into the Sapphire Docks. As you enter, it's now probably early afternoon. Though the actual level of traffic has died down a bit, it's still fairly busy. And you can see over towards the right the Patchwork Bazaar. 1 second, I've just got to go put a light on because it has gone really dark.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm back. I can now see my map.
Those generally
Fast.
help.
So, Rowan, you know where the Patchwork Bazaar is, but you know that Yami is looking for a particular person.
Right. What'd you say your name was again?
I think the name was Marge.
Right. Rawen's gonna go up to one of the stalls.
Okay, so you've travelled down to the Patchwork Bazaar and you move up to a stall and you see it's a bit of an odd-looking person. They've got a slight blue tinge to their skin, and it's a fishmonger's stall. And he turns around and goes, "Hello, do you want some fish?"
Actually, I was wondering if you can help. I know this is a really generic name and everything, but I don't suppose you know a Marge.
Marge, I sell a fish every day. You want to go just down the road that goes through the bazaar, and it's the first building on your right. Marge's Menagerie.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for your help.
Not a problem. If you ever need a swordfish or a herring, let me know.
Yeah, gotcha. And Rowan's just quickly wanders over to Yami and is like, yeah, follow me.
Okay, so you
Of charge.
So you travel down through. You find the central road that leads through the bazaar either to Halcyon Heights or back down to the Sapphire Docks, and you travel along it, and eventually you reach the end of the multicolored stalls, and just to the right past them you see a large two-story building. Bit oddly, all the windows on the ground floor are barred.
Well, this looks like it. Yami, why are you here?
Just going to point to Jormungandr and just say that should be reason enough. This exists.
Rowan was just like, oh, of course, one of those questions I probably shouldn't have asked. So, yeah, guess we're having a look round.
Yeah.
Okay. As you push open the door, you are hit with just stink, manure, musk, and just basically what the sort of smell you'd expect from when there are a lot of animals in one place. It smells like the sort of farmyard that you'd expect the smell of after it's not been cleaned for a few days.
Whew.
This was an unexpected turn of events.
And as you step in, you can see all around this room, which is large. It's the whole bottom floor is just this shop room. You can see cages, pens, display tanks, all filled with multiple different types of animals.
Quite a exotic place they've got here.
Rowan's kind of looking around going, this is like the worst circus I've ever been to.
It's the only one I
As you say that, you hear a voice pipe up behind you. Well, I'm sorry it doesn't meet your expectations.
Rowan kind of jumps and is just like, ah!
As you turn
Don't do
around,
that.
you look, and then you look down, and stood behind you is a small halfling woman. A very kindly look to her. Think crazy cat lady, but every type of animal. And that's the sort of image you get from this little halfling woman.
She's suddenly become my idol.
Well, I'm Marge Bloomguard, and this is my shop. I'm guessing you're here for something?
Hi, Marge. Yes, we're here for, well, not for, but I'd like to ask you some questions about a pseudo-dragon.
Pseudo-dragon? Oh, I haven't seen one of them in a while. Have you got the little beauty with you?
I do. I'll show off Jormungandr.
Oh, he's lovely. Come here. She sort of holds her hand out, and Jormungandr steps onto it, and she's just sort of petting him. And through your empathic link, you can feel just pure bliss as her fingers find areas on him that are obviously sensitive, and she's just giving him a good scratch. And she's just like, "Oh, you're lovely, very nice, absolutely lovely. I can see you've not been taking quite good care of the scales, though. A little bit of wear and tear just there. Want to be careful with that."
See, someone's enjoying themselves.
At this point, she's bustling off with Jormungandr, and she heads towards the back corner where there's like a counter, and she's like, "I'll just get you some little treats. Yes, just you wait there." And she starts rustling through some drawers, and eventually she pulls out some like what look like very fat grubs, and she starts like holding them out to him, going, "There you go on, have some of that." And Jormungandr's like,
I am going to want him back for when I leave this place. Just to let you know.
"Do you have to? He's so lovely."
Yeah, it's we're kind of stuck together. It's a part and partial deal.
Fine. You'll just have to come back and visit, won't you?
Rowan's just like staring in, like, what the hell have I just walked into?
So, I was told you're the person to come to for this. Now, I wanted to make some, or have some armor made for him, but we didn't know how. So,
Well, can't put anything on the wings. Make him unable to fly. Helmet will be fine. Make sure you don't cover the eyes, though. Very important on a pseudo-dragon. They need their eyesight. Probably a breastplate would be alright, as long as you make sure, again, it doesn't go anywhere near the wing joints. Other than that, probably the only other thing you could maybe do is put some sort of extensions on the talons. But again, quite heavy, and they're not too much fans of it, but you could probably get used to it.
okay. Could I get a list of this as well as some other things of...
As you say that, she's already like scribbling on a piece of notepad. And she sort of rips it off and hands it to you. And then she starts scribbling again and goes, "That's care for him. Make sure you do it, otherwise I'll find out and I'll come get you." And on it is just like this 20-point list of like things you should be doing for Jormungandr to keep him in tip-top condition. And there's things on there like oiling the scales on his wings, and brushing his teeth and things like that.
I'm just going to have Jormungandr come back onto my arm. I'm going to show him the list and say, "How do you feel about half of that?"
You feel just feelings of, "I like this woman. Why don't you take care of me like she does?"
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pretty new to this, if you didn't know.
Listen to her.
Okay, fine. So, with this should help strengthen my bond with him, I assume, at the same time.
Well, I'd assume so. Any pet gets nicer to you as long as, you're nice to them.
Okay. Do you sell anything here that could be have any use for the pseudo-dragon at all? Or
She reaches down, pulls up, and you hadn't seen it, but behind the counter she'd been prepping stuff, and she just slams a sack full of stuff onto it and goes, "Yep."
you're very prepared.
When it comes to animals, I'm always prepared.
You don't get out much, do you?
No.
I thought as much. So what is there in this bag?
You can see what looks like wire brushes, various bottles of oils. There's what appears to be some kind of like special metal wool towel for rubbing down. Various bags of treats and food.
I'm gonna give Jormungandr a little stare. You're gonna cost me a fortune today. I already see this happening.
Jormungandr sort of sends back to you going, "You chose my form."
Rowan kind of glances over the shoulder and go, who knew a pet would be so much responsibility? Huh?
By the way, you don't actually have to do all this for Jormungandr, because technically he is a summoned spirit. But whilst he's in a pseudo-dragon form, this is all the stuff that she thinks you should be doing for him. You could quite easily just bamf him away and then bamf him back and he'd be back in perfect condition. You just...
I know. I'm aware. How much would some of these supplies in this bag cost?
Well, for everything here, you'd be looking at 2 gold. If you're only looking at the treats, I'd say 5 silver. And just the grooming equipment would be gold.
I'm going to hand over 2 gold and say, I'll take that.
Thank you for your business. Is there anything else? Oh, do you want to see some of my other beauties that I've got aside? I mean, this lot in here, very domestic, very normal. I've got some proper wild ones out there.
Define wild.
Follow, come on. And she rushes over to a door, opens it up, and you can see it leads outside. And as you sort of come up to it, you can see the outside of this place. It is a large backyard, almost the same size as the shop floor itself. And all around the edges of it is just bars, fence, keeping everything in. And then there are multiple, cages. Currently, there looks to be about 4 that are actually got inhabitants. And they've all got, various different habitats in them. And she sort of goes along and goes, "Ooh, I've got a wolf. I've got a bear. I've got an elephant. That was very hard to get, but oh, he's lovely, so big." And then
Rowan actually looks at her and goes, "I don't suppose you have that much dealings with the manager that runs the arena
No.
over there?"
I won't sell to him. I'm not sending any of my animals to be put to death. No. My animals are for pets.
Just curious. That's
No.
all.
He sends out hunters to get his. That's why you get subpar. Mine are all very well taken care of. Especially, me prize and joy. And she leads you up to one of the last cages in the whole of this area. And looking in, you can't see anything. And she just goes, "Come on, push. Come here, push. And you just watch as directly in front of the bars in front of you, a pair of vibrant green slitted eyes just suddenly appear.
I'm going to guess it's got a fitting name like Tibbles or Tiny.
And then you watch as there is a shimmer in the air and a large, almost leopard-sized cat with grey fur and black markings just appears. And it's just sort of sat there on its haunches, just sort of staring at you. Oh, it's a Grimalkin. They're only normally found in the Feywild. So hard to get hold of, but he's so lovely.
He's actually very pretty.
What are you keeping?
Well, he's letting me keep him. He's not tried to escape yet. Oh, he's so lovely. And she reaches down into a bucket, and this is obviously where she's been buying the fish for, as she pulls out a whole tuna, and she sort of chucks it in, and you watch as this Grimalkin leaps 10 feet into the air, grabs the fish, and then vanishes.
That's cool.
You watch as a trail of fish blood. You can see it moving through the thing, but obviously the Grimalkin has gone invisible with its catch and is taking it away to eat.
Are we allowed to go up and actually interact with this? Or would I lose my hand?
If you want, but I'm
might
still in
not
the
walk
process of
away.
taming him. So he's not quite ready to be interacting with people. I mean, you're welcome to try. She sort of pulls out a piece of paper and goes, "Just make a note to say that you did it of your own accord. Yes?"
I'm just going to push the note back and say, "I think I get the gist. Don't touch."
Okay. Well, you've seen my beauties. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
Well, in my case, you haven't tamed that Grimalkin, but would you set a price for it for when you have?
I suppose. For something like that, 100 gold? Especially if I knew it was going to a good owner. Let me put it this way, if you come back, normally I'd charge 200 gold for something like that, especially if it's going to some snotty noble. If you come back and that pseudo-dragon's been well taken care of, I'll knock it down to 100.
Stunned silence.
Rowan's just kind of waiting for Yami to get over the shock.
If I come back tomorrow and try and get some lessons in taming, would you knock it down a little lower? Just so it makes it easier on you.
Well, I'm quite happy to keep him forever. I don't mind. I mean, you can come back and I can teach you a few things, but it's going to take a while.
I'm happy to learn.
Well then, feel free to come back and I'll make you my little helper.
Done deal.
All right. Just come by whenever you're free.
I will, with that, say goodbye and avoid direct eye contact with the giant white-haired thing for now.
The Grimalkin's not anywhere. You can't even see it. It's skulked off into the back of its enclosure with its fish.
I'm good at that then.
However, as you're walking past, the trunk does try and sort of slip into your pocket to see if you've got any peanuts.
Easy fella.
I have no peanuts. No peanuts. With that, I'm just going to say, I'm going to leave now, Rowan.
Rowan is just kind of looking around the shop now, just with like interest, very slowly making a way out the shop. But
as you move through the shop, you can see that there's within the shop pretty much anything that you could count as a domestic pet is there. You can see everything from snakes and lizards to the odd puppy and kitten. There's chipmunks, squirrels, the odd birds in small aviaries. Basically, this woman is a tiny female Hagrid.
Sound.
We're wizards now. Is that how this works?
Yes.
One moment.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
What was that? Sorry.
Do we become wizards now?
No. No, you haven't been told you're wizards.
Oh.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So, is there anything else either of you would like to accomplish, or are you going to head back to your rooms?
No, I'm going to head back to the tavern. I'm assuming everyone else is there.
Yeah, by this point, it's now late afternoon coming into early evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to head back and begin. Well,
I'm going to run up to the group and go, guys, I have just been to the weirdest zoo I have ever been to.
whatever she says, it's right.
What did he drag you into?
There was this cat thing. It was huge, and she basically goes off on this like as if she was like a 7-year-old who's just been to the zoo, basically, just like telling all of the animals.
We had a field trip. That's the way to put it. You don't fancy an elephant, anyone, do you?
There's elephants. Tried to rob Yami. It's great.
Yeah.
Would Ert know what an elephant is?
Nope. It does not.
Okay, we're going to gesture out with an elephant to by using the armor's trunk.
Make a performance check with disadvantage.
Ert thinks it's Kraken instead.
Okay, where the heck's performance? It's that one. Oh, it's charisma. Oh yeah, now I've got to do it on here, haven't I? Damn.
Yep.
Keep forgetting. Well, can't do it when there are notifications on my screen. That is not helpful. But, D20, and then... Oh.
Same roll.
So it's going to be 15.
How much?
15.
15. You managed to get across the general impression of what an elephant sounds and moves like. The actual visual is a bit harder to get across, unfortunately.
Good effort, though.
But gets the idea that it's some kind of large creature with a very long nose.
I kind of take to one side and explain, if a guy gestures that way to her in the future, stay away from that guy.
Okay. She sort of now looks over at Yami and sort of skirts around to be on the other side of the table from him, away from him.
Table, wait, are we at the tavern now?
Yeah, everyone's now returned to the tavern.
Ah, right. Because I was going to be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
Holding
you
up
can
my-
now
with
come
my
downstairs with your raven.
raven. What's up, guys?
Rowan's just seen the raven looking at the pseudo dragon as like, hang on, are we all actually getting pets now?
I mean,
It's
I'm
not a
interested
pet.
too.
Ert is not a pet. She is a girl.
I wasn't referring to Ert. I was referring to the dragon and the bird. And the... She's kind of looking at Eridan, just inspecting him, just in case he's got any hidden animals.
Well, as you know, Eridan
my
turns it
own
down.
I was going to say, he turns into animals.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to catch up, Rowan.
Yeah.
At this point, you hear someone sit down, and you all turn and see Gunter sat there going, "Hello. How was your day?"
Hello! I've had a wonderful day.
Oh, good. Did you enjoy the city?
I didn't see much of it.
Fair enough. I see you managed to solve your little erection problem, Valdizian.
Niggers across the table.
Yes. Yes, I did. Thank
Such
you
a
very
pity.
much
They
for
were
your
so
help.
lovely.
Rowan's just like,
Come join
this
us.
is a conversation I probably don't want to be in.
So, what brings you all here anyway? I forgot to ask yesterday.
Oh, we completely forgot our errand.
Errand? What errand?
We've got to deliver those alchemy notes to the alchemy guild. Was it?
Oh, the Alchemy Guild? It's not far away, and they'll be closed by now, but
Yeah, I can wait
I'm
till the morning.
pretty
I
sure
guess.
Inala goes in quite early, so you could
Yes,
probably...
Anala is the person we're meant to be finding.
Yeah, Inala Jink Clank. Bit of a strange one, but like I say, she gets up fairly early, so she should be there first thing in the morning. Always experimenting. That fun.
Nothing wrong with a bit of experimentation. She gives Gunther a look.
Gunter gives you a wink and goes, "No, not at all." So, can I get you well some drinks, or are you just sitting at my tables taking up space for no reason?
I'll take a drink, please.
Very
Come
well.
here.
We have
What
paid
would you
for
like?
rooms.
You have, and your rooms are upstairs.
I'll have an ale,
Tables down
please.
here are for drinking. One ale, alright.
Yeah, I'll have an ale too.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 ales. No one want anything stronger?
I would like a glass of water.
I will have 2. 1 for me, 1 for Jormungandr.
Ales or Wasser?
Both!
Very well.
Do you have any seeds?
Any of that?
Seeds?
Seeds? As in to grow things from?
No, from my raven.
Oh. I hadn't spotted him.
Her.
Hey, look! I didn't know your family was coming to visit.
It's a her.
Rook stood over at the bar, just sort of looks at him, and you can just see the disapproving look in his eyes.
Her name is Queenie.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Queenie. Unfortunately, I don't have any seeds. But you're a raven, so I think I might have some strips of bacon lard in the kitchen.
What do you think, Queenie? Sure, that'll do.
All right, I'll be back in a second. He sort of flounces off, and you notice he doesn't actually get the drinks himself. He collars one of the serving boys and sort of tells him what to do, and then as he's walking away, gives him a big slap on the arse.
I love him so much.
Looks like there's more than one Queenie in this inn.
Yeah.
So the serving boy comes back with a plate of bacon rinds, all your ales and your waters, and places them down. Altogether, that comes to 2 silver for whoever wants to foot that bill.
I'll put 1 silver in. I'll get half.
I'll pay the other half.
All right.
Thank you.
Now to see if pseudo dragons can drink ale.
Jormungandr sniffs it and then sticks his head in, and you just hear.
What are you thinking, buddy?
Sticks his forehead in.
Rowan's just kind of looking around at him and goes, "Do you think that counts as high quality care?"
Probably
I'm
not.
gonna move him away and I'm just gonna go, shh. We've all allowed a bad one.
Yeah.
So, as the evening progresses, you sit, enjoy your drinks, and trade stories about what happened during the day. The tavern starts to fill up a little bit, again, getting livelier further into the evening it goes. As you watch in one corner, what appears to be a drinking competition starts to take place. In another, there's
I
a
am
group
in
of...
on that. So
All
hard.
right, okay. So you head over to the drinking competition.
Oh dear.
Do I have advantage because I don't actually need sustenance? Or am I still affected by alcohol?
You are still affected by alcohol.
Okay,
Just because
cool.
you don't need sustenance doesn't mean if you take something in, it's not going to affect your body.
Okay, I
That's-
still want in.
I wonder if
Yeah,
it affects
me
you,
too.
Jormungandr.
I take part in the competition as well.
Okay, so both Balasar and Talia head over to... You can see it's a group of what appear to be dock workers from the Sapphire Docks who have come up into the Gateway District for some entertainment. And they've got what appears to be a bottle of some form of spirit. And they've got shot glasses lined up. And they see you come over and go, you want to join in?
Sure thing.
I've, by the way, struck out the loot.
Okay, I can see the performance roll. That's not bad. So you strike out the loot and you start playing, and you remember a popular ditty. You start playing it, and a couple of the older generation out around the fire start sort of joining in, singing along, and a couple of them flick a few silver your way. Probably about 4 silver lands at your feet.
I'll take that.
So the dock worker, who's obviously the spokesman for this group, goes, right, so buy in 2 silver. Every round you last, you earn 2 silver. Got it?
Got it.
Right.
Here you go. Toss him
Ert
two
Alright.
is
silver.
going to go up just behind Talia, or by Talia, and just touch her and cast resistance.
Thank you, Art.
Okay. So the rather muted golden arcane flash goes off, hidden partially by Talia's cloak. Fortunately, none of the dock workers seem to have noticed it.
Little offended that you think I can't do this on my own, though.
Well, it
So-
gives you an extra D4, so
You
I
both,
didn't notice it though.
so
Only one, right? Or is this for the whole competition?
once before the spell ends. So it depends how well you roll.
I'll save it. I'll save it then.
okay. So the dock workers, there's 2 of them who are taking part, and you sit down with them at this round table. Each of you sat at sort of a cardinal direction. A shot glass is placed in front of each of you, and they go around with this dark brown liquid, filling up each of the shot glasses. So the one with the bottle slams it down and goes, right, dwarven whiskey, first round. Anyone got to take their shot?
First person to fall over or throw up is out. All right?
All right.
So,
This is where I just go out in the first round.
okay. So, basically, the way this is going to work is every time you take a drink, you're going to make a Constitution saving throw.
Shit, it's my worst skill.
The first person to
Next to wisdom.
3 failures is going to fall out first. That then starts a new round with a new drink. Last one standing
Okay.
takes the pot.
All right.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. So the first round is the dwarven whiskey.
Okay, so
So you watch as each of the dock workers slam back their shots.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck my life.
So, Balasar, you feel the whiskey burn down your throat, but you shrug off any sensation that you get from it. It tastes good, but other than that, you feel fine. You watch as both the dock workers slam back their shots and grimace, and you can see them both sort of patting their chests and sort of coughing a little bit. It's obviously affected them. Talia, you do the shot, and you feel it burn down your throat and into your stomach, and immediately you feel slightly lightheaded. So the only one to pass there was Balasar.
Oh, this stuff's strong.
So they put each of them. The guy then goes around and fills up each of the shot glasses again, and goes, right, down them.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
I fucking suck.
Okay. So, the 2 dock workers slam back their shots. One of them.
Can I add my +4 to that?
No. Oh, your resistance. Yeah, you can roll a
Yeah.
d4 and add that to it.
Okay, one sec. Oh,
Okay,
nice.
so that totals 6. So
Still not great, but better than.
both you and the dock workers grimace, and you're barely managing to hold on. You pass, but you barely. You feel the burn, but it doesn't affect you quite as much this time. Balasar, you're just taking these like a champ.
This would
Okay.
be so much better if I wasn't cursed.
The guy goes around, fills up each of your glasses again, and goes, "Come on, down them."
That's a bit better.
Oh wow.
Holy shit, Balthazar.
Okay. So again, it goes around, and the 2 dock workers are the worst affected, but again, they're still standing, they're still going. Talia, you feel like you're starting to get used to this now. It's not as bad as it could have been. Balasar, you're just putting these away. Okay, so the guy goes round. He's now finished off this bottle into the shot glasses. He goes, right, if no one goes down this time, we're just going to advance to the next round, all right?
Okay.
Okay. So.
Always the lowest.
The 2 dock workers both take theirs, and you see them just go. They're both looking pretty sick right now. It looks like that last shot is almost pushed them over the edge, but they're still there. Talia, again, it doesn't affect you as much as before. You're feeling all right. Balasar, bam, another shot gone. You're feeling still clear-headed, heavyweight here.
I'm so drunk.
The guy goes, right, next 2 silver in. And you watch the 2 dock workers both put in another 2 silver into the pot each.
Do we
Do you
have to do
both-
that too?
Yeah, do you both buy into the rest of the pot?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you both buy into the rest of the pot. So let me just calculate how much that is. Yep. So the guy comes round now, and this time he's got a bottle of clear liquid. And he goes, right, now we're going to try some elven firewater. And he fills up each of your glasses.
My favorite.
Okay, down them.
Oh, God, thank God.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Yeah!
So, Talia, you slam this shot down, and it's pleasant. It's actually quite floral.
I love firewater.
And it's quite nice. You feel a burn at the back of your throat, but otherwise the taste, you quite like it. Balasar, this one was not to your liking, and you can feel it mixing with the dwarven whiskey in your stomach, and it's starting to make you feel sick. You watch as one of the dock workers slams his drink back and looks fine. The other one slams it back, sits there for a moment, and just topples backwards off the stool.
And he's out.
He's out. The other guys go, "Way!" and they sort of drag him away from the table. So it's now you, 2, and 1 dock worker. So the guy goes round, fills your 3 shot glasses with more elven firewater, and goes, right, down him.
Oh, fuck.
You rolled a persuasion check, Talia, not a con save.
Sorry, I picked the wrong one. Hang on. Who's called? There we go.
Okay. Balasar, this stuff really doesn't agree with you. You can feel it. Oh, it's just not nice. You're starting to feel more and more sick now. Talia, again, it affects you more than it did before. You can feel it going to your head, but it's still pleasant. The other dock worker is now just sort of swaying in his chair, looking like he's pretty close, passing out.
Before the next round starts, I want to kind of have a look at Balasar and point the wand of smiles at her.
That
Oh,
bloody
no.
Right.
wand.
Okay.
Wand.
And I'm going to expend
Every
one of
time
its
you think he's
charges.
forgotten about it.
No wonder smiles anymore.
Yeah, I believe
No, it
last...
resets after a dawn. It's the Wonder Smiles again.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
daily.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep, so Balasar, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
It says DC 10 Charisma saving throw.
Oh, charisma saving throw, sorry, not wisdom. Nope. So Balasar, you are currently sat there feeling quite sick to your stomach as you just feel your face just sort of go into this really harsh grunt, and you can't move it off, and all the guys are just like, oh, look at her, she's nice to drink. So the guy goes around again and fills you all up with the last round of the elven firewater. Goes, right, down him.
And I'm out. Fuck.
Okay, so Talia, that is your 3rd failure. You down the last shot, expecting it to be the same as the ones before, and because you were unprepared, you just feel just this rush of alcohol to your head. You turn to the side to look at Ert, and just feel the vomit rising
Oh, no,
up.
don't vomit on her. No.
You very quickly manage to rush away from the table, heading towards the nearest water closet. But you have now left the game. Balasar, it was fine. You feel alright. And you watch and as the last dock worker just sort of looks at the shot glass and just thump hits the deck. And the dock worker who was pouring drinks grabs your arm and holds it up and goes, "We have a winner!"
Poor Balasar still grinning away with that.
Yeah, Balasar still, like, your grin has just started to fade now, and you're like, what? As the dock worker pushes the 16 silver over to you.
I'm just gonna stumble back from the closet, like wiping my mouth, sit down next to Valdician and steal his water and down it.
Then I'll take that silver and probably get ready to head to my room.
Okay.
See,
Is there
I was
anything
about
else?
to sit down in front of Balasar and go, would you like another game?
Huh, I'm interested actually.
And
I'll turn back for that.
I'm going to put a gold piece in the middle of the table and
The
see how
dock
she
workers
reacts.
all go, oh, ho, ho.
Meow meow.
All right. What'd you like to bet?
Well, a gold piece.
Well, yeah. Over what?
Another round
Another
of drinking.
All right. Are
I'm
you
gonna
going to be
switch
drinking as well?
I'm going to switch my lute's song to something a little bit more exciting as to what's going on here.
You switch and it's now like.
Talia perks up a little bit and nudges Valdecian in encouragement.
So, the dock worker goes, for this, we need something special. And he goes off, talks to Rook for a moment, and then comes back with a bottle of vibrant green liquid. And he uncorks it and goes, here we go then. Tiefling brew. And he pours a bit into each shot
Oh,
glass.
snap. That stuff's dangerous.
And you can see just little bits of green mist rising off of it. So, same as before. First to throw up or collapse loses. So, again, first to 3 fails on a con save. Balasar, you have been reset to 0 fails.
Nice.
So, both of you,
Good
take your
luck.
drinks and roll me a con save.
I'm going to clink and go, cheers.
Cheers. No.
Oh no!
That
Okay,
last round's got to her.
so, Baldizin, you slam this shot back, and it's odd. It's got a very odd taste to it. You can feel like it's almost minty for a second, but then it sort of gets overtaken by herby notes, and you can feel it moving its way down, and you already feel lightheaded, but you feel okay. Balasar, you slam the shot, and you immediately get double vision. You're just like, whoa. The dock worker fills both the glasses back up.
Told you
Goes-
that
Say-
stuff was dangerous.
Double or nothing, and put 2 more gold pieces in the middle.
All right. Do the same then.
Valdecian, aw. you-
Okay, so that's 6 gold in the pot.
I'm just going to point to Jormungandr. This is what we call morning regret. Don't do this.
So both of you take your shots and make your con saves. Oh, so
Oh dear.
that's a fail for both of you. Valdizin, you take the shot expecting the same pleasant sensation, and this time you just immediately get a sense of vertigo, and you sort of grab your stool to sort of keep yourself sat there. Balasar, your double vision has now doubled again, and you've got quadruple vision.
Great.
You watch as the dock worker fills both glasses, and for you, Balasar, it's quite hard because there's now 4 glasses sat there, and you can't quite tell which one to grab.
The one on the left, Balasar.
Thank you.
So, take your shots, make your con saves.
Did that even work?
Yep.
Yep.
Damn it.
Just waiting for Balasar's to come through.
Oh, it's 4.
No, it's not.
It's 19.
19.
This time, both of you knowing what to expect, you sort of gird yourselves, take your shots, and you can feel the effect, but you are both hanging in strong. You can feel the alcohol working on your systems, but you cling to your consciousness.
This is tense, man.
The guy fills up both shot glasses again, but this time he sprinkles a bit of sugar in each and gets a match, lights them both on fire.
Talia leans forward in interest because she likes fire.
He
Because-
goes, right, take your shots, make your con saves.
Because the alcohol start to get to me, I'm just going to go, for bronze dragonborns!
And the dock workers all go, way!
And fail.
Oh, this is close.
So,
you both blow out the fire and take the now warm shots, and you can feel that the warming of the alcohol has made it even stronger than before. Balasar, you manage to just hold on. You can feel it trying to do something, but you just manage to push it off, literally just on the edge. Valdisian, you feel the shot go down, and you can't feel your wings anymore. You
What
sort
are
of
they
reach
doing?
back to check they're still there. They are still hidden by your cloak of illusions, but you're just like, what? So the guy sort of looks at the bottle and goes, I think you're both about done. Let's make this interesting. And he reaches down, pulls out a pouch, slams it down on the table, and it opens, and you can see inside there's about 50 gold pieces.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
And he goes, he sort of moves back across to the bar, and this time he comes back with 2 wooden tankards, both smelling faintly of apples.
Down it. Down
And he
it.
goes, for both of you, whoever's standing at the end of this gets all the gold. And I'll find it brilliant because I'll have seen someone actually manage to drink scumble and stay upright.
Oh, not Scumble.
God,
Scumble.
no.
I have experience of Scumble.
Bad experiences.
So, are you taking part or are you withdrawing?
Come on, Valdisian, you can do it.
I'm backing down now.
If Balasar's doing it, then I'm doing it.
Oh, well,
Both
you
of
can
you
quit.
drink your drink and make your con saves then.
The loot's getting a bit quieter in the
Wow.
tension.
Wow. Wow.
Is it those 2 latest ones, the 7 and the 8?
I think so.
Yeah.
Roll. I think they rolled
You
at the
both
same time.
start
Hang
drinking.
on.
No.
No, that's just gone through.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay. So you both start drinking this faintly apple-smelling brew, and both of you get maybe 3 gulps in when you both just slide sideways off your stools in opposite directions and just slam into the floor. And the dock worker just goes,
Ow! And Talia goes to like lift his head up and rest it on her knee.
yeah, he's gone. He's just unconscious.
Just like tap him on the cheek, like,
Nope, no response.
oh
And-
dear.
You watch as the spilt scumple is actually starting to eat into the floor.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, guess he's sleeping on the floor.
The dock worker sort of scoops up the gold and sort of just deposits it with you and just goes, that was funny, they can keep that. And just sort of wanders off with his mates out of the tavern.
You hear a little tune from the loot.
Gunter is just lent on the bar and is going, he can sleep in my room if he likes.
Well, I'm knocked out, so I have no idea where I'm about to sleep.
I think we'll get him to his own room.
Oh, pity.
Consent, you know.
Rook sort of comes over, looks down at the 2 unconscious Dragonborn, and you just see him just go. He just reaches down with 2 large feathered hands and just scoops them both up. And
Oh,
just starts moving away, carrying them both. Is there anything else anyone would like to do?
I think
Alright,
that's
I
enough excitement for me.
Yeah, I think I'll call it a night, to be honest.
Come
Okay.
along there.
I'm good.
You all go to your rooms and take your evening's rest, intending in the morning to go and complete the errand that you had been given. Your night's sleep is normal. No dreams visit any of you other than your usual dreams. And the next morning dawns bright and early. I need both Valdisian and Balasar to make me Constitution saving throws.
Sweet, do I not?
You didn't drink scumble.
Wow, that's not a good sign.
Oh,
So, both of you are extremely hungover. The light hurts. Your head is
pounding, and just everything feels extremely sensitive right now.
I think before they both wake up, I'll have done a round with some water. I'll leave a glass of water on both their bedside units.
Okay. The water helps a little, but you still just feel awful.
I'm actually IRL. I think I'm going to call it a night before long.
Yeah, no, I was only intending to go another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, because I need to be able to get back into bed somehow.
Yeah.
Me and Ert are gonna go down to Valdisian's room.
Okay.
To wake him up.
All right.
Good morning!
Runs in and jumps on the bed.
Oh, does someone have a hangover?
Who knew alcohol could hurt so much?
Oh, believe me, I know from extensive experience.
That was my first time drinking.
Probably not a good idea to jump at the deep end. I mean, the tiefling mix is strong enough, but Scumball, are you mad?
I couldn't lose faith in front of Balasar.
Oh. Here, drink this water that Rowan left you.
I'm going to drink the water.
Okay. So you all come down for breakfast and you meet in the main area, both Balasar and Valdisian looking much the worse for wear. Intent on today fulfilling the errand that you had been given. Do you guys want to do the last 20 minutes or do you want to finish it there?
I'm happy with whatever the rest of the guys want to do. But
We can call it here if you want.
Yeah, I'm happy
It
to.
just feels like a natural stopping point.
yeah.
I agree.
Okay. So, I hope everyone who has been watching has enjoyed the misadventures of this ragtag group.
Hey, any name suggestions for our group? Do let us know.
And when do you guys want to play again? Are we going to do this weekly, bi-weekly? I'm up pretty much
If it's
okay.
Is there any possibility
same.
of moving it to Saturday?
I already actually have another game running on a Saturday,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I can't really do Saturdays.
Enough.
Shall we do it bi-weekly then?
I'm happy with either weekly
we
or
could do
bi-weekly.
it. We could do it on our weekends off, Pad.
Yeah, if we do it bi-weekly, because then it gives me a bit more time.
Bit
I
more
mean,
planning.
I'm planned out for a while, so I'm all right. But just bi-weekly is nice.
Yeah, I think bi-weekly is better.
Okay, bi-weekly it is then.
So, 8th
Yes, the
of May.
8th of May will be the next game.
Alright.
So-
Okie dokie.
For now, everyone have a good night. Stay safe, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's game of Dungeons and Dragons. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.